Let me open the meeting. Formally open the meeting with all boards present, board members present. Mr. Cook, Mr. Dozell, Jason Massey, Laura Hamilton, present. We all read the minutes for the February 4th. January 29th, I'm sorry, January 29th, 2013 meeting.
Yes.
I hear a motion to accept the January 29th, 2013 minutes.
Motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sign the February 10, 2013 billing commitment. For a total of $120,950.85. That's today. Today's the 4th.
Anything startling in this?
We have one situation with a gentleman up on Central Street. Jay and Ralph went over there today.
No, I mean on the billing committee.
Yeah, he's got a bill for $3,000. He has a leak. Jay.
Laura, saw it in the bills and kind of struck it as odd, So we sent the meter technician out there to check it out, and he had several lines coming from his house out to barns, chicken coops, various things behind his backyard, and it was discovered that one of those lines had obviously frozen and burst and had been just gushing 7 gallons a minute since January 8th, I think the data log it showed. So he finally, when he went down in the basement, he said you could hear it running. Apparently the gentleman, just didn't notice it. We went down and found a shut off behind a wall and shut it off, and stopped. So.
Is that $3,094?
A lot. It was 10,000 gallons a day.
250 Central Street.
Yeah.
It was a lot of water.
What is this?
So,
It's in this way. I'm going to pass it over.
It's in the,
That's a.
no, that's in the commitment letter.
That's pretty. That's for a one house.
yeah, but you got even a 3/4 inch line leaking at that amount of 7 gallons a minute is pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
So people just, especially this time of year, I think need to be really conscious on, if they have any lines that aren't shut off, blowing out, any kind of thing like that, Put on your basement every once in a while, check, see if you can hear anything, stuff like that, because sometimes this happens,
So he had one of the lines off his service froze to his
It had to have. It just went out the back of the house. He has chicken coops and barns and stuff, and and there was some water outside, on the surface and some ice. I don't know if he didn't think anything of it or what, but.
What was this bill last month? Was this bill relatively a little bit high?
$92.
Yeah.
$92?
That's
Purely from the leak,
billed for the month. That's what the commitment is. That's what.
92 to 3,000.
So from January 8th till January 29th was how much? A couple 100,000 gallons or something like that. I forget.
So did you talk to the?
So I'll be working with him, Scott.
Working with the.
Yeah, he knows the situation. He knows we have to bill him for what he used, and he'll have to come in, maybe set up a payment plan with the board, or go through his case with you. I'll just be working with him. Unfortunately, we have to bill him for what it is.
Right.
So,
We've
we just advised him as to what our rules and regulations state, and that the board would take it from there if they wanted to. payment plan, anything like that, you know, that's what we'll.
Yeah, we'll
send
work
them,
with
so.
him, Scott.
Yeah,
Right now, he knows the bill is coming.
Yeah.
He knows that we found the situation, and since we read he was using 4,000 gallons this week, I think. I mean, he's gonna get
10,000.
10,000 gallons this week, so he's gonna get another
Oh.
bill from us for that.
No, it was,
so
So,
this red flagged on the, come up on the program.
this is
with the
wonderful.
meter.
Yeah, the
But
monthly
it red flagged
program.
it, but it's
Yeah.
too bad it
It's-
happened.
it's too, you know, we can't catch it any sooner than a month because, but imagine, you know, we used to read every 6 months. I mean, imagine that, you know, I mean, if
Yeah.
we went that long and
Well,
you
we
just
did.
didn't notice it.
We did have a couple of leaks that would leave, I mean, they weren't,
That's a big loss for
That's-
us, you know,
that
you're
is-
talking getting up to 1 million gallons or something like that, that's, you know.
well, it's a
We
loss
don't even
to,
hump that in a day and this,
it's a
this time
loss
of year.
to the property owner too. I mean, the
Absolutely.
thing is if how
Absolutely.
many outbuildings are out there, if you're gonna take the precautions for it not to happen again. How, you know, if people are gonna put the water to their outbuildings, you have to have it, the adequate depth, especially if you're gonna run it year round, so that, you know, if your outbuildings, the frost goes 3.5, 4 feet deep, your lines should be a minimum of 5 feet deep, minimum, if they're, you know, water lines, 5, 6 feet deep below the frost level. Because if not, you're gonna freeze, and if you're hooked up, and it's gonna pop, you know, to any outbuildings. So,
Here's a question on this subject. Maybe we ought to look at, that should be a loss, but it might be covered by their insurance policy. You think about it, they lost
well,
$3,000.
that's an avenue that they could
I
look
wonder
down
if-
and ask their insurance,
I wonder if there's
Policy.
insurance coverage or something like that.
you know, I mean, we've had
That would- the
cases
homeowner
before
would,
where
Yeah.
there's been leaks, and in our rules and regulations, it states that if the water goes, if what water's passed through the meter, be paid for, you know.
Yeah, certainly this isn't the first time that this,
No.
this has ever
No,
happened.
might
And
say-
and
you might
it is.
suggest that's a next
It's
call.
not, you know, I mean, you can understand somebody has, they have outbuildings, and they may be older outbuildings. There's a
Yeah.
lot of them in town, you know, and when a line breaks and it's open, there's no check valves on them, are there? Or any
No.
of these? There's
Yeah.
no,
Yes.
No, but I mean, even if there was, it's
you know,
something
I
that
mean,
could go in and go.
like a, I know,
It's just gonna keep running.
yeah, it's just gonna keep running, there's, you know.
He didn't, you know,
So if
he
he
did have
wants
ball
to-
valves inside his
Yeah.
basement where these lines went out. They were left on. They weren't, you know, shut off until today. We took, you know, we
If
found
he
them.
wants to, you know, I mean, you can
I'll
talk
be
to,
working with him, Scott,
with
and
Laura and.
I'm sure he's gonna wanna
yeah.
talk to you, the
If he-
board, because I
if he want-
can't.
Yeah, yeah, if he wants to come into a meeting
Yeah.
and sit and discuss it with the
Right.
board, by all means.
Right, he didn't have
I
time
know.
today to do
Yeah.
it, so,
Yeah, this just happened.
yeah, it just
Okay.
happened.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we're working with him on
Yeah,
that,
good.
so you know.
I'm gonna
Okay.
check his meter, but you know, it's kind of an obvious leak, but,
Oh, they
Oh yeah,
found it.
we were there
yeah.
twice today. We went back and followed up in the afternoon too. So
Purchase orders, I don't know, I haven't opened it.
So I'm gonna start a running list for you every week, and then just
Okay.
add the purchase orders as we go along.
you got a good supply of purchase orders over there?
We do.
So you have,
Scott, you wanna go through them?
purchase orders, number 958 from Bentley Warren
Yeah,
for $488.13.
yeah.
Why did we get it there instead of where it's cheaper at Rock?
that was during our emergency water main break. on Monday.
They will come in an emergency.
Yeah.
I'm sick and tired of paying $2 or $3 a ton more for this material when we don't have to.
Well, we're not get there as soon as Bentley Warren did. So Bentley Warren was 20 minutes.
They're a phone call away.
So,
All they say you gotta do is call them.
well,
That was for an
We
emergency
get,
break?
I mean, yeah, we're in the middle of, I got mud up to my chest and everything, and I needed material, and, you know, they're the closest ones, they're the quickest, so.
I sign.
I mean, if you guys wanna change procedure, it's always been, you know, through the
Call them, if they
superintendent or
can't come,
whatever.
that's a different story.
Well, they couldn't, they said it was gonna be an hour or so.
But I mean,
So-
we're paying $3 or $4 a ton more if they have the stuff delivered from Ipswich, so
I
they
know,
can't
we're, you
drink.
know, the other thing is we're sitting there working on, you know, off hours and a day off, and we don't really wanna sit around and wait for a truck to get there. That's the only, you know, that's the downfall of that. And we've always had very good, like, immediate 20-minute service from Bentley Warren, so. You know, if you guys wanna change protocol, I've always, you know, that's what the superintendent has always instructed me to do. Certainly, if you wanna address it,
Well, I want,
that's fine.
before we call there, call the cheaper place first. And if they can't deliver
They
it,
were
then
gonna
that's
be,
all right.
yeah, they were gonna be an hour and a half, they said.
You did call him,
Yeah.
right? So we did call him, Lauren.
So I called Bentley and they said, well, it'll be there in 20 minutes. I said,
So this
"All
has
right,
been ordered?
Let's go.
This is,
It's already in the hall, I mean, this happened.
it's
a month.
already in the hall. This is
We have
already
certain
been,
emergency situations,
Yep.
you know. I mean, it was 19 degrees that day, and we had the day off and we were in, you know, fixing a water main break. I mean, it's,
What was that,
you know,
Martin Luther King Day?
January 21st.
Yeah.
we have Hawk, number.
Yeah, that's a monthly refill for our chlorine analyzers.
Reagent kits.
Yeah, it's you know, they automatically come in for our for the analyzers for all the stations.
What's this one?
Is that Hatch?
Ah,
That's Hawk.
Yeah, it was funny because when I was in the machine shop, we used to have Hawk machines. But,
Is there any other vendors for that, or is it,
no,
because it's
it's a
that
hot
machine?
It's a hot machine.
It's
yeah.
a machine.
Yeah.
This is Hawk too. Biomarine, that's a, this is for sampling,
That's the same. Yeah,
just
bi-monthly sample.
bi-monthly
And
sampling.
then every quarter we have, you know, another water quality.
Do we want a motion for every one of these?
No, we'll just do it together to accept all of them. We'll do
Okay.
them together.
Okay.
So we really need to talk as we grow into the purchase order signing, things that like, you're gonna see the biomarine is standard. Do
Yes.
you wanna sign for the month, or do you wanna sign for the quarter, or do you really wanna sign every other week? These are things that are just routine to our business, so, you know, Jay and I just put it through each week right now, because I didn't know.
Yeah,
what
you're
to
always,
do.
I mean, you're always
Right,
gonna
I
have
mean,
the
we've
sample.
always, yeah,
Every 2 weeks.
we've always had the chemicals. You have.
We never really put him on a purchase order before,
No,
so
but
this
you
is.
always,
Yeah, it was-
you have a regimen of the chemicals that you use every month.
Right.
And-
Well, that's separate too. That's,
Yeah.
this is the
This
is
is
the best.
sample.
This is testing. You know, chemicals are also every month, you know. The hot thing is every month, you know. Just the essential things to run the wells.
Well, here's a suggestion.
That's his phone.
Here's a suggestion. Maybe the supplies we need to operate the water plants, maybe do it on a yearly thing. In other words,
Well, the hot is yearly. It's a
It's a
yearly
yearly-
plan, and they send it every month.
well, I mean, we're not gonna sign
It's
it
biomarine.
That's how they are.
next month.
Well, that's how they do it. It's a yearly plan,
Oh, I know,
but you,
but in other words, to minimize the purchase orders, if we just get a price for them and just put it on a purchase order at the beginning of the year,
Okay.
okay,
and just cover that, so
I
we don't have, we're not flooded with paperwork.
I see what you say.
So,
Okay.
in other words, like the chemicals, like the chlorine you order up,
Yeah, you know, and it varies
just a
depending on,
suggestion. You know,
it
just
varies,
get-
that varies a little bit depending on how much usage there is, but it's roughly, you know, it's roughly
Yeah,
pretty close.
So if we
So I couldn't
have,
tell you for the whole year how much at a dollar.
well, maybe just go with the unit rate. I think I'd feel comfortable. I think everybody would feel comfortable with a
Okay.
unit rate for the
Well,
year.
We had, we
Alright.
also, we also had
Yeah.
talked and then we had spoken about getting into the
Yeah, that's gonna be,
consortium
that's gonna be in March.
for the chemicals.
I
So-
followed up with the chairman,
Yeah,
and he has not scheduled a date yet.
they haven't
It will be in
scheduled
March
anything yet.
sometime. Right,
That's
they
it.
have not, so I just
Okay.
did follow up on that.
So with, if we get into.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
once
get into that.
once we get into that,
yeah.
yeah, that will be procured for the whole year.
Right, right.
Give or take, you're allowed, I have all my calculations,
Mhm.
so I'll know roughly how much this is what we're gonna need. They'll procure it, just like every town puts their presentation in,
Yeah,
and, you're guaranteed that, plus or minus 10%. You're allowed to change, you can order more or less within 10%, so, and
okay.
that's not a problem.
So they can supply all our chemical needs?
Yep.
Even for the new plant?
Yep.
Okay.
Everything. There's 36 other towns now, I believe, that get their chemicals through,
We got state.
Do we have any, is there any other outfits like that we could compare it to, or is it the only, is it just a consortium that?
No, that's what consortium is, this area.
Okay, so
No.
there's no other consortiums that we could compare it to? Okay.
No, unless, the only other option is to do what we've been doing is to,
We have staples for ink cartridges.
Right, for the printers.
Yep.
The coliform samples, is that, do we have to deliver those?
yes,
So there's a time thing on it, right?
yes.
And so, as soon as you take them, you're gonna run them over there.
The time frame on all samples, yeah.
Yeah, now, that doesn't seem too high, but is there anybody else that's closer?
And sign this.
They're it, huh?
Yeah.
The sample.
Every municipality in this whole area uses the same lab. So.
Some of these outfits, they provide pickup services, so if you give them an idea when you want to pick them up, then we
Yeah,
want to
this is
run a
from
guy
me.
over there.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. We're in a routine. We just do them in the morning and then just shoot right over there, and it's an hour. Half hour there, half hour back.
We do
And
them.
we know that then, we know we got it there, and we have them sign it when we, it's kind of guaranteed that nobody else has touched our samples. We like to make sure that they get there by us, and
The VOC samples, does he does them too, or does he send them out?
yeah. There's select ones. I believe the VOCs he sends out.
Well, when we get going here, we don't want to, some of these bigger labs would take the VOC samples and then coliform, and they'd deliver them for you. It might make sense to get some pricing on that, just to get everybody, on check to give us the best price.
The Napa for a soldering iron.
So.
Yeah, I had-
Go
had to
ahead, go ahead,
Had to
yeah.
have a quick
Well,
fix.
yeah, we had we actually have 2 leaks potentially right now. We're fixing one in the morning on Weathersfield Street, and I had our listening device. I was out there, trying to locate it, and things just stopped working on me. I brought it back, pulled it apart, and one of the little wires, I pulled the whole machine apart. One of the wires had come unsoldered, popped off, and I was, if I just had a soldering iron, I could get in there and fix it. And I ran down and got one and fixed it, and we were back out there using it within a half hour. So, $30 pot as opposed to you can't get parts for it.
Yeah,
Machine's
yeah.
a little old, but it
Yeah.
works. It still works.
What's the cost of the machine?
$1,000 more probably.
$1,200 for a listening
I
device.
try to fix as much as I can in house, but just so you figure a $30 pot saving you
Yeah.
how much money?
$30 fix
Yeah.
for a $1,200 unit.
You gotta be a jack of all trades in this business. So
And Amesbury Industrial.
That's just for the,
The
Earplugs.
earplugs, yeah, for the jackhammer, which we're gonna use tomorrow, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna be out there jackhammering.
Thought that was for the meeting.
Yeah, really, for the meetings. All right, so that's it, our purchase orders so far this week.
Okay.
I'm working on the payroll this
Oh, wait
week,
a
so
minute.
there's no bills right now to sign. It's payroll week, so on
So
Wednesday.
the one we have left is the Bentley warrant for the emergency brake and this is purchased, right?
And
For the
delivered.
emergency brake for $488.13 for Bentleys.
We,
Well, I agree with Roy, we should be making calls and making sure we're getting the best bang for the buck regardless, and we should be documenting it. You know, say, okay,
Yeah.
we stock,
we're in
you
an
know,
emergency here.
we get all our, you know, we stockpile that material out here. But, you know, sometimes I'm in an emergency and I need it, you know, delivered right there. You know, that's, it's, you know, sometimes you gotta take a little, you know, when you're in time sensitive, you know, we're standing out there, I mean, it's,
Yeah, but do we have a truck that can deliver this material over here?
well, we were
Do we
using,
save
no,
any
we were
time?
using a small dump truck, that's all we got, you know?
And the
We're trying to
highway
take,
has
we took
the
15
same-
truckloads out of there to the, you know, cause that's what we're dealing with, is a 1-ton dump truck, you know?
Where-
We
where-
usually use the highway, but they got all their salt,
Where was the brake, Jay?
it was at the highway department.
They got all their
No.
salt apparatus on the
Yeah.
Yeah,
truck.
so we had to use a 1-ton and, you know,
It was on.
it's like 10 trips
Independence
getting
Street.
back here, you know, to equal a trailer load.
What do we have? I thought we had a bigger truck.
Nobody wants to drive it.
The clutch is kind of, you gotta shut it off to switch gears and stuff.
All you gotta do is put the spring back on it. John was supposed to take it back over, they were gonna fix
I
it.
haven't, it was
John,
in
for
the,
3 months, I told John, take it back over, they'll take care of it. They said they'd take care of it. Nobody wants to drive it over there, you can't blame the people for not fixing it.
So we need to get that
that was,
thing, that problem correct.
that was on my hands, so.
We get nobody to drive it.
Well, what do we need to do to get somebody to drive it? Does somebody need a license?
Yep.
Yep, and need a CDL license to drive that 800.
So,
The thing is what's in front of us now is we have a purchase order for Bentley warrant for $488.13 for an emergency brake.
so
That,
It's very, very, very seldom that I would even call Bentley Warren anyway. It's usually on
well,
emergencies because I'm the one down there, and you know I called the place that we normally get it from, you know, in Drake, and I'm looking at my timetable, and we're all staying up there. It's 15 degrees, and that's my, you know.
the real problem
If you
here
want
is,
to change, you know,
the
I
real
mean,
problem here, Jason, is we don't have anybody to drive the truck. So they can take our material down to the job site.
well, we usually do use
We
our
wouldn't have that
truck.
much
We had
damage.
we had a huge hole.
Yeah.
It was not, you
didn't
know,
have
What did you
enough.
order, a trailer?
so,
Yeah,
yeah.
we didn't have enough material here, Tim,
Was
for
it
that
trailer?
hole.
Normally we truck it from here to the site, you know, with our 1 ton.
30.7 tons.
You know,
So in
but,
other words, too, it's, we have material there on site, but you gotta put the good sandy material around our pipe.
yeah.
So what do we need 30 ton for? Do
We
do
use,
have-
this stuff is real fine. This stuff is great for
Oh, I
compaction.
know, but it's
We-
good for, you know, you could probably put it a couple of feet above the pipe. You could have probably got a triaxle or something, and
Yeah,
then use the
Yeah,
material that
trailer.
you pulled out of the hole.
but you can't use any material you pull out.
You can't?
It's soaked, it's dripping off the truck, I mean, you can't use
Okay.
any of it.
You said that they had material there on site.
No, we
That's-
had this brought.
you Had this brought in, there was nothing on site.
Everything got
That
taken
we-
away. It's that, I mean, if you guys ever seen
Right.
a water break, it's,
Yeah, yeah.
it is.
Yeah, okay. So it's a
There's
saturated.
nothing that's good.
We have a question. for
So-
you.
Yes, Stu?
To answer Timmy's question, when you have water break this time of year, you can't put wet soil back in that same excavation. You have to bring in dry material, and that'll be a sinkhole till it dries out in the spring.
Okay,
Just one big sponge.
okay.
There was to go a little further into it is the section broke right in front of the bag where the sanders had to come out, and it was gonna be starting to snow in about an hour,
Yeah,
and we were on like a hurry up, let's go and get this thing filled, because Scott Levy was standing there, and they need to be like, get these trucks out, like, as soon as, the flakes start flying.
I get you.
And it snowed, it snowed that afternoon.
I'm just
and
thinking,
night,
how can we,
different situations,
how can we,
you know.
how can we save money here? So, that's,
I hear a motion to sign this.
I have a motion, I'll sign it.
Anyone want to second it?
Yeah.
Second it, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do we need 3 signatures on these POs?
Well, the new policy was 2, but if we can get 3, that's a bonus.
Okay.
Why
So,
not?
if one of us disagrees on something,
Right, then that's fair
the other
enough.
2 go with it, then it
That's
passes,
fair
right?
enough. Yeah.
Yeah, that's your general rules, 2/3.
That's the new policy
Yeah,
that I'm writing
2/3
up.
of the, board.
Everything we're doing now will have a policy. So,
So I make a motion that we accept all the POs?
Okay, you got it.
Is that the next step here?
We could do that, yeah. I'll, you want to, you made a motion to accept all the POs?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
So-
The key policy, review the key policy.
and this is something that's going to be ongoing, Scott. Last week, we talked about the inventory on keys, and Jay put together who had what keys.
Uh-huh.
And I just drafted a first draft here of what I think the key policy should be, what our objectives are, a general overview of what level different keys are going to be, who's responsible for tracking the keys, distributing the keys, if there's a loaner key, if the key is stolen, lost, or is not returned to us. And we've had cases where keys are broken in our locks. So there's all kinds of different procedures for the different kind of key happening, I like to call it. And then once a year, we'll take an inventory in January of all the keys and present that to the Board of Water Commissioners. And then I created a couple of key forms. Let's bring this back to the next meeting.
Does this include the keys that are at the police station for
Right,
the
every
gates
key.
also?
Every
in
key.
here
So
for
that
the-
was the little
for the-
sheet I just gave you.
Yeah, I put
Okay.
that on there.
All right,
Years
that's-
ago, when we was on the fire department, we used to have remember when the keys were all numbered, Jack? Maybe that's what we should do, is have them numbered, and that way there, when you do let one out, key number 9 is gone to
Exactly.
so-and-so,
So
and
you'll
do
s-
not duplicate on the keys.
Right, you're gonna see on this here, the key number, when they sign out, there's gonna be a key number.
Okay.
We're gonna have to invest a little bit in our keys that we have now. We're gonna have to convert a few keys over. Maybe when we open the treatment plant, we'll have one key that does all the wells in the treatment plant, and
Well,
kind of work our way into
Yeah, 'cause we
where
did
we
do
want
that.
the keys to be.
We did do that with the buildings, where we
Yeah.
have a
Our
certified key.
master key.
Right, our master key, which is certified, which
Yeah,
is,
it's all numbered, and,
But we're gonna
Right.
try to find, there's some keys that are out, that we need to,
okay.
so we're gonna be taking, I have key 22 for an example. So there's 22 keys in front of me. So I'm gonna find out where those 22
Okay.
keys are. And
And-
if
and
I
that's-
can't find them, they're gonna be reported lost on a sheet.
In what key are you talking, the
I'm
master key, the
talking-
certified keys
When
for
I
the front door?
started, the key that I got was number 22.
Okay,
So
Okay.
I'm 22 of the master keys.
okay.
So we're gonna, the new administrative assistant position and I, working with John, we're gonna go through the whole key thing and kind of
Okay.
figure out where they all are.
How many different keys we have, Laura? Was it 9 keys, different keys?
Jay, how many keys do we have here?
Well, for altogether,
No, that's just the bulletin number down.
7 or 8
yeah,
different kinds
I
of
think,
keys.
yeah, 8 or 9.
Yeah. So,
And we had even more than that until we went to the multi-key, where we tried to get, so, you know, everybody wasn't carrying this huge keychain. We did like all the wells the same, you know, same lock and the door here, and, you know.
When did you do that?
So,
I know we did have some issues.
How long ago was that?
Oh, that was what, 5 years ago?
yeah, something like that.
4 or 5 years ago, we did the certified key for the one
Yeah.
key for the buildings.
So this list here, 1 through 9, is that all the keys we have?
I think,
Different locks?
right, we don't have the treatment plan keys yet, they haven't been turned over to us, I just added it onto the list.
Okay.
And
They're not here on,
Yeah.
you know,
And some
yet.
of these are, you know, just the, like employees have, some are kept in a lockbox, key lockbox out there. They're
Well, I
not-
know at one time we had issues with the Prospect Hill gate and the keys to the locks, that our locks were being cut off. And we were
Yeah.
continuously changing those locks and
It's been an ongoing battle,
stuff. So it has been,
you know.
you know, instead of going up to
We,
the police station and getting the key through the protocol,
We've,
they took a bolt cutters,
Yeah.
cut our
We
locks
find
off.
that
and-
the guys that work up there get irritated that they have to go to the police station every time, so, you know.
I mean, I
They either put one of their locks on our locks, or they cut ours off.
Who's this?
This is a company that's contracted through, it's actually a private company, security company that's contracted through the cable, the tower up on Prospect Hill.
Oh,
Castle, is it Castle? I think it's Castle. I talked to the gentleman once, talked to
Yeah,
him.
you guys had
Because-
dealings with them even before I
Because
started.
of our locks being cut off up there, and explained to the gentleman on the phone that there was a protocol to follow as a key process to the storage, the tank on the top of the hill, and he said that told me that he was going to notify the cable companies and any of the maintenance personnel that they contract with through, so that it wouldn't happen. And it stopped for, what, 3 years?
Yeah,
And then all of a
it's
sudden,
just off and on, you know.
they're cutting the locks off again, and they were doubling, putting their locks on
Yeah,
ours, and, it
That's-
got misconstrued
what
again.
we find now is
So,
they'll go get the key from
you
the
know.
police department, sign it out, and when they leave the premises, they put their lock between our lock on the gate so that they can get back in without having to go to the police department.
Hmm.
You know, we keep addressing it, I go to the police department and I say, you know, hey,
We'll
Yeah,
work,
that-
we'll work
that's
it
been-
been
out.
on- you
That's
know,
been ongoing, so
We're
yeah,
working on
okay.
okay,
it.
so you gotta,
So
Yeah.
we can work with that too, as to, you
And
know,
then, once the Board of Water Commissioners approve the key policy, I will deliver it to the fiscal team who's working with the water department on different issues, and let them know this is a policy that we would like to have implemented. So we'll bring that back after you review it at home, and any comments, suggestions.
just a quick question.
Sure.
Approval authority, now who might that be? Is
So
that-
that's going to be the superintendent. I don't know if you want it to be the Board of Water Commissioners. I felt that to issue any keys would be through the water superintendent. And then the business manager and the administrative assistant would comply with all the procedures.
and then just update the board.
And just update the board. If you want it to be the board, we can have the board be the authority, that's fine.
I think that, my feeling is they have the super.
I think they had, yeah, I agree, to have the super, and then the superintendent update the board
Right.
if there's any change or any additional keys going out.
Right. And there's a form like for a loaner key, if we have a situation.
Yeah, because sometimes we do
temporary
have maintenance
form,
personnel that are in here that to do electrical work or whatever work we
Yeah,
had.
it's-
Yeah.
It's not very often, that would only, you know, if it's not somebody that we regularly deal with, then they will be, you know, escorted to the site.
Right,
You know,
right.
some contractors that we are working with, that we have been with for years, do have keys because they're a trusted vendor. If we have any of the maintenance done, we usually try to go
Right.
with them to
Right.
the site.
right.
But certainly there probably should be available loaners just in case.
Right.
You know.
And I said, any request would be approved by the water superintendent, and the date, you know, with proper ID too, with a driver's or some kind of photo ID, so we know who the person is, is who we think it
Okay.
is. So that's kind of
So
what,
that's work in
that's kind
process.
of, yeah, it's just a start, really.
Just another question.
Sure.
Can we combine some of these lots? So there's not so many?
I don't know, Jed, can we?
Well, we already have combined a lot of them in the past.
Well, I gotta
And
imagine.
so, you know, this is what we're left with, so.
Can we
you know,
look
we
into
went-
that, Jay? or-
Well, the reason is because we keep some separate. You know, it's like the gate keys from like the fence keys is, some personnel, we only want to go into like the site, but we don't want them to have access to like the building, you know? So we'll give them a key to like the main gate. And if they need to do any work around there, you know, inspections, whatever, you know, but it's a security issue further than that. That's why they're separate keys, I think, you know.
Well, you have a key to the chem feed building. You have a key to the pump building,
Which is the same.
which are the same. Then you have a lock on the gate
The fence.
that's around the facility.
That's right.
And then you have a lock on the gate to go into
Yeah.
the
So
facility.
basically in our everyday operations, those are the three. That's it. Those are the three main keys that really, you know, that really, at least all the employees use.
Well, I think you could combine gate keys with a key to Concom property or something, just, you know.
Well, no, that was a key issued to us by the conservation
Okay,
agent.
never mind.
Just, that's an emergency access to the Pingree Farm.
Oh, the other,
We
yeah,
keep that in
yeah,
our lock,
yeah,
we don't, none of
yeah.
us carry those.
Yeah.
There's several keys on here, plow lock, key to Concom, that stay in our lockbox.
Okay.
And that if anybody needs it, they know where it is,
That's
like our employees.
To that one side of the river,
Yeah,
Tim,
it's-
which we don't ever, we don't ever
Yeah, we don't
access
carry
that.
those keys around,
know.
only if an emergency, if we
Yeah.
need them.
Okay, all right. I think things look good on this,
Yeah.
So you want us to look at it again?
Yeah.
And make a
just go
decision
through-
by next meeting?
Yeah, if you could, or in the next 2 weeks or so, we can revisit this. Just part of the business,
Okay.
trying to get organized here.
Okay, number 5, the update the administrative assistant position.
So quickly, Debbie, Egan, and Amy right now have accepted the applications, and people are still bringing them in. We haven't closed, even though we're past the date. They're starting to look through all the applications, and they're going to pull out the people to come in for the next rounds, and we'll do a skill assessment where they have to do an Excel sheet, they have to do a Word document, they have to learn, do a little test. And then from there, there'll be a group that Debbie will turn over to the Board of Water Commissioners to interview. So we're kind of in the beginning stages.
You're filtering through them to
I haven't seen
see the
anybody
ones
yet.
that meet the job requirements.
Yeah, so I haven't seen anything yet. Debbie hasn't turned anything over. I just wanted to quickly update you that it's in the process and we're working on it.
Any idea of how long down the road it's going to be till we actually
it's
are going to be able
no.
to put somebody in the position
I
to help you in that
I don't know
that
yet.
office?
I think it'll be soon. I think they
hope
realize that I need help.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Maureen is here a couple of
Yeah.
hours a week, and she's been doing a great job filling in, but we really need to fill this
How'd you
position.
do with this month's billing?
We did
Hectic?
fine. We did fine.
It was
You know, we
hectic?
got through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's busy.
It's
We're
busy. Yeah.
And I just wanted to update you on the selectmen's 3 goals that the Board of Water Commissioners and the selectmen agreed on in a joint meeting in December. and that Debbie Egan, the town administrator, is working on developing policies and protocols for dealing with the commission, official actions, and for our minutes to model them after the Board of Selectmen's minutes. And as you can see, the minutes are getting longer, and I will try to streamline them more like the Board of Selectmen as the weeks go on. No policies have been delivered to us yet at this point, but I know Debbie's working on them. And we're also working on policies, just like the key policy that will tie into all the policies. On tomorrow, I'll be starting my first procurement meeting with Debbie, and setting up the purchase orders is something that we're working on right now. We're just, talking about what you want to see weekly, if we can go to an annual purchase order, whatever that policy is, we'll be working on that. And I am, the team meeting, we're on our third week of the team meeting. Tomorrow, the team will review our budget in detail. I'll be spending probably 2 or 3 hours tomorrow with the fiscal team, going through what we talk about here tonight. So it'll be a process of what the board wants to see the policy, budget, and what budget information we get from the team. And I'll be bringing it each week to you, and try to make a really solid budget for town meeting that everybody can agree on.
Okay, good.
So that's kind of just a quick update of what's going on.
When you're at your meeting tomorrow,
Yep.
we have somebody that cover the phones and
Maureen
desk.
will be here tomorrow, all day
Okay.
tomorrow, yep.
Good.
Yep, so the office is not left closed. There's been like a half an hour here or there for me to run to the bank or go get the mail, but the office has been covered.
Okay, and the gates at 401 Central Street.
Yeah, I had sent an email, in essence, I think we need to really wrap this subject up. I'm not sure, I mean, we've had so many questions from downtown, and so many questions about our procurement of that, and it's obvious to everybody downtown in here that those gates don't work. Now, we having some of the ideas right now are to put wheels on them.
Freddie, I talked to him the other day, and Freddie's ordered the wheels. He's gonna go down and put them on. It's the one that we had the last meeting I showed with the double wheel with the crank. So as the ground freezes or heaves or whatever, you just grind it till they stay level.
Okay.
And he says he'll make them work. To put this to bed. So I told him to go for it.
From what I understand, he's supplying all the material, everything to do it, and to make these, to make them work.
Well, as I stated at the last
It's gonna be
meeting,
these ones here, Tim. This setup here.
yeah, I think is that the ones I saw last meeting?
That's one that they had Jay come up with, and it's a double wheel setup with the jack thing to the trailer.
Yeah, I don't.
And
I
Freddie's
don't feel that that's going to work, but that's my
Well, I
opinion.
do, and I told him to go for it. And he said he's paying for it. We're not. He's going to make it right. The gates work.
I think we ought to send the gates back.
You can't, Tim. We've already spent $2,500 for the metal, right? Yes, we paid way too much, but the $2,500 we won't get that back.
I don't know if we paid
It's already been
too
cut
much
welded.
anyway, but
You can't take it back after it's been cut and welded.
next thing we'll be hearing is track systems to track those gates open and stuff. Those gates
it
should be self-standing, self-supporting.
To put the wheels on them, okay, with that, and they'll open and close fine. And
It remains to be seen, Scott.
to see, yeah, it remains to be seen. But see, those gates weren't installed properly. Yes, Mr. Delza.
The way, I've heard this I've heard this for 2 months. The way I see it, last week it was mentioned there was an extra yard of concrete purchased for the gates. Now, gates of that weight, just 1 yard of concrete for 3 posts. Each post should have had probably 3/4 to a yard. In other words, there wasn't enough concrete put around them for the weight. I'll compare it like this. If you had a 50-pound mooring holding a 12-foot boat onto it, it would work fine. But it wouldn't work, it would not work on, say, a 25-foot boat. You need something much heavier. So if there was more concrete around them, seems to me it would have held the post straight.
I know, but you know, these things were designed by Hardy's Auto Body.
But in all fairness,
That's my point.
the fabricator did not install the gates, the water department did.
So did anybody, did the manufacturer specify, you know, how many yards of concrete to use on the posts? You know, it's just,
I just explained what I know about.
Well, we got the 3 gates up there. They're on the posts. They put the supports and the wheels on them so that they'll close, okay? So that they'll open and close, and you can use them, and they'll you know, and you can finish the gates. It'll be done. It'll be done. The wheels on these will support the weight that's hanging out on the end. The wheels will support it. It's just like the tongue on your boat trailer.
yeah, but did we come up with this design modification, or did Fred come up with it?
Well, I talked with
Well,
Jay
they've
about it, and I
been
showed him
working
from my
together
farm.
on it, from
Yeah.
what I understand.
Jay went down, you
So
saw
did
it.
he come up with this modification?
Well, we kind of just talked, you know, amongst all of us to try to come up with something, you know?
Okay, so,
You know,
Because
you
Stu
guys-
is right. Stu is right because there was not enough concrete poured on those posts. For the reason of this, a regular piece of property, this property is all filled. This property was filled from the blasting when they cut the corner down here on Route 1 and
Yeah.
Central Street. And this is where they put all that fill in back here. When we did a investigative digging, okay, for Concom 3 years ago, dug 2 trenches out back here, and it's all pieces of that ledge down there that was in here. That's what this property consists of, the majority of it's back. Now, if you take a sonotube, if you take an 18-inch sonotube to put a 6-inch diameter pipe down here to fill, rock fill, it's not going to be enough to substantiate the weight you're putting on that on the end of that pole. It should have been a square, and dig it out and built a box down in there and put, as Stu said, 3 times the amount of concrete that is in there. The amount of concrete that are holding those posts is not adequate to hold those fence posts up. That's why they're sagging. The wheels on the end of it will hold the weight, take the weight off of that post. Okay? You can, if you wanted to down the road to reset those posts, you could pull those posts, dig them out and make the hole bigger. And see, that's where it is. There's not enough concrete in those holes to substantiate the length of the fence when they were put in.
okay, so you know more about this than we do, because I wouldn't dare to design any modification to that thing, because I take responsibility for making sure that they stay up. So if he designed them, if he doesn't want to design anything, and the department wants to design a solution out here, fine. But I'm making a motion that we should return the gates and have this thing properly analyzed to figure out what the design should be, Scott. Not, we hired these people to do it.
We hired them to
We hired them
build the gate.
To build the
Ken,
gate
not
and
to put 'em in.
specify it. So,
From what I understand,
do I have a second for that motion?
No, I won't send it back. Freddie's willing to fix them, to make them work right,
Okay.
so make them work right.
So Freddie, well, Hardy Auto Body can fix them, and they're gonna be working now. Okay, not us.
Yes,
He's doing it.
yes.
Okay.
He's buying the wheel setup and the jack setup and coming down and put it on.
Okay.
Soon as he gets them, he's
He
gonna
doesn't
come
think we
down
have
and
to
put
pull
them
them
on.
out and reinstall the posts?
Nope.
He says this will work.
Okay.
Nope.
So just to have it on the record, he's coming down to correct the situation.
Yeah, that's what he told me.
Yes.
Last time.
That's
There's not gonna be any more money out of our pockets.
No,
We've already spent over $9,000 on this. This should have been rectified a long time ago. So,
I talked to
we're
him.
not gonna hear any
Thursday,
more
he said he could-
downtown from, about these gates?
I don't know anything about that.
Okay. So the issue is now closed up, right?
Well,
Solution here.
Yep, we get, when he gets the hardware in, to which he's buying, he's putting it on, you know, and those gates will be operable.
He's not gonna come back and say, well, you guys decided the wheels and that's why it's not working now. So he's gonna, this is gonna
He's
work.
buying,
Okay.
he's purchasing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I want. I wanna make sure they're working this time because
Yeah.
I don't wanna talk about this again.
Neither do I.
Scott, is he
Neither do I.
gonna,
Yes, Jeff.
he's gonna justify and put them in himself to work? Or is the
Yes.
department gonna provide help to do
from
this?
my
Scott?
He said he might need one guy to give him a hand,
Okay,
for an hour or so, but he was gonna get him to come down and take care of it.
so he's gonna make them work.
And he says, can I grab one of the guys out of the garage if they're there, if I need somebody to give me a hand for an hour or two?
Okay, well, I put a motion forward. If I don't get a second, I guess that ends that. So-
Timmy, to answer your question, the problem has not gone away down the town hall.
Okay. I hope it works.
Truck 5,
Do you want to make a motion, or is that a motion second? Do we need to do
do
anything?
we need,
We need a vote on it. If
What,
if I got a
to-
second on that
to-
motion, we vote on it. And if these two gentlemen don't wanna,
So that
Say
one,
yes,
that's
then-
not, that one is,
so I didn't get a second on it, so.
okay, so there's no other motion. I just want to make sure I get it in the
No.
notes. Okay. So
truck
it's okay,
5,
it's okay for the guys to give a hand.
do you want, that's a
Yeah.
good question. Is it okay for the guys to give the manufacturer, if he needs a hand for an hour or two, to,
As long as it's not busy, I see no problem with it.
And if they don't work, was he gonna say, well, you,
no, I have,
I just want to make sure these
Yeah,
guys, you
yeah,
know,
I
they're
understand.
getting
I
tied
understand.
into this, and it's
but
not
when
their.
you know,
yeah.
if the,
I just want you to be clear that we're gonna let
Yeah.
them give
I
a
don't
hand.
believe that, I don't know exactly how these go on. I mean, I see the picture of them, they clamp on, it doesn't look to be
They clamp
anything,
us- yeah, they clamp on?
you know, they bolt on. I don't see anything, that you need to be a rocket scientist to figure this out.
Is he gonna bring his
No.
own wrenches?
I was a machinist for 33 years, but,
Just wanna be clear.
you know,
Okay, so basically, we have permission for these guys to help
yes,
them out.
I would say so. Roy?
I agree with it.
I
Okay.
agree. Let's get the apparatus put on these gates, get them functioning.
Is the hardware put on there for locking it? Yeah?
Well, you can't put that on till you can get them to close.
So the hardware that allows them to be locked up, is that
He
something that's
said
gonna?
he will come down and make the gates work, Kim. What
Okay.
more do you want him to do?
I want them to work.
All right,
Roy,
wait till he
how,
gets the parts.
Roy, how long is it gonna be, do you think, to get the parts?
I'm not sure, what was the company that we found the double ones, and what book was that?
Northern?
I think it
Yeah,
was.
Northern Hydraulics, so whatever it takes.
Within a month, Roy, you think?
Oh. It's probably a week, you know, Northern Hydraulics, whatever it takes for them to ship out something. He called it in that day, he said, he was gonna put it on his credit card and have it sent to him.
Truck 5. Discuss the rules for disposing of, for disposition of public
Yeah,
property?
so that's, Debbie Egan gave me, what we need to do next for truck 5, and it's a vote of the board. The gas is out of it now, the plates are off of it, and basically, it's, the department head has to determine the value of the property. And Jay looked in Kelly Blue Book for us. And it was hard to kind of figure it out because there was no for rusted body, and, you know, Jay, you can explain that a little bit.
I just put in the information, you know, the year and the style and the motor.
I was gonna say, let it sit out there and use it for parts.
So,
We put way too much money into that truck to begin with, it should never been put into it. And you ain't gonna get it out, auction it off, so you might as well
Didn't we just put new brakes, new
$1,100
rotors,
in
new brakes and everything in that truck?
$3,600, you know, 8-10 months ago.
Now, they're all Fords. Will those parts fit the
Some
other
will,
vehicles?
some won't. You get your plow
I mean, we
frame, all that stuff to
just
work.
put all brand new parts in that thing.
I don't know
Well,
what
you-
is,
you
I'm
don't
not
know?
sure which is.
We got enough vehicles out there, it's not like they haven't got enough
It's
vehicles.
got new rotors, it's got, you know, the new brake,
Well, they just fixed,
brakes,
they fixed
new
the
rotors.
emergency brake.
Yeah, it's just the emergency brake.
Yeah, the rear, which is incorporated with the drums or something on the rear, I guess.
It costs $1,200 just to do
Because
an
they had it,
emergency brake on that?
Jimmy said the e-brake is, when the rear is connected to the whole drum or something.
Well, what's amazing is that the day before the gas tank fell out of this truck, we had it inspected, and it passed inspection. And then they drove it, driving it over to Salisbury. They were in Salisbury when the tank fell out. The straps on the tank broke
Jimmy told
from the
me,
frame.
because I spoke to him after he looked at it, and he told me, you know, like I said, you know, it was just inspected, and he said, the only way anybody would have been able to tell if that whole rear frame was rotted, because the body was over it, is if you had like a telescopic mirror, and you got up in there to look, so it could look down. You know, it's just, that's what he told me, so, otherwise you couldn't even see the rear frame, you know, because the body was set over it.
I make a motion, we
Um,
put a hold on this for a month or so and decide what we're gonna do, because we get way too much money into, to junk it out for $500. I just can't see, if we can use something off of it for the other vehicles, the plow frame, the pump, the lights.
Well, it's got, like you said, it does have the plow frame, and it does
It's got
have
strobe
some
lights and all that kind of
on it.
stuff. I mean, you know, we can use this stuff on other vehicles.
We're not under the gun to get.
No, there's enough vehicles out there, we don't need it.
No. You know.
And then, your point is, why sell it with a plow on it? The plow's probably worth more than we'll get truck.
Right.
Well, we took that off. We took
We
all
took
the,
the-
we
the
took
plow is
everything
off.
The
off.
plow frame, you need the plow frame.
plow frame
frame.
is,
Is that rusted on it?
oh yeah, I before I went and cut with torches and stuff and destroy it, I wanted to wait and see, you know.
Have you seen it, Roy, the plow frame?
I haven't got underneath it, crawling underneath, but
The
I
plow
if I can
frame
put a motion that
is
we
welded.
wait a month.
I
and
think,
see what we got.
I agree with Roy, I'll second that. But wait a month, let's just move on.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Update Zone 2 well request from Vieira Artesian Well Company.
Yeah, I told him, Viera came in and, they had a proposal to put a couple of 10-gallon-a-minute wells for irrigation, that were bordering, like, you know, the UPS building is there?
Yeah,
A couple, one there and then one at 406 April. And I told him I'd just bring it up to you guys. There's nothing in our zoning bylaws that say, that restricts wells. But if you guys wanna, you know, go
isn't
over it.
that within the jurisdiction of a private well with the Board of Health?
Yeah, he's already gotten there, okay. He just, ours is the last, and he said, do I need to get approval? And I said, I'll bring it to the board.
Boy, they like kind of make sure
And
that,
I reviewed the,
I don't believe we have anything to do with
You don't recall?
private wells, no.
right, he just wanted to come here, and I just wanted to make you aware of it. And I did check, I have the zoning bylaws for Zone 2, for the Water Protection District here, and there is, you know, as far as we go, there's nothing.
There's nothing.
he's on the water board over here in Georgetown.
He is.
So
Yeah.
do they have anything like that where the
I'm
water
not sure,
board?
he didn't really bring it up. He kinda wanted to see, you know,
Well,
he's like,
the,
I just wanna know how you guys felt about it, was it okay? And, you know, we didn't have a really in-depth discussion, I said I would bring it to the board, so.
Okay.
that's in
Be
the,
interested
I
to
looked
see
at,
if
you know,
they have
this-
anything over there regarding.
well, that would be up to, under their Board of Health. That's under the
Yeah.
the rules and
I'm
regulations.
just wondering about their
and
water
everything.
board, whether they do anything about a situation like this.
Because,
Maybe he's trying to figure out what we're doing.
I think he kind of insinuated, you know, because I think it's the same thing, it's the Board of Health, you know, because he said he already got clearance here
Yeah.
from the.
Because the Board of Health has the jurisdiction over private wells because of the proximity, if you have septic systems, and if there's a septic system within, I do believe it's 100 feet
Well, sure, and
of a
when you get
private
into,
well,
when
so
you,
that's why it's in the Board
when
of
you do get
Health.
into septic systems and
Yeah.
hazardous things like that, there are restrictions within the water
But
protection
that's why
district.
it's under the Board of Health's
That's right.
jurisdiction and not the, anybody else's.
So, I just wanted to run it by you guys, I told him I would just.
We don't, you looked in the bylaws, it's
Yeah,
nothing
no.
there.
I have it here if you
We're
just want
done.
to review it, but it's
Yeah.
just the bylaws from the town.
Raleigh Country Club update.
So that, I don't know if you're all aware, there's a, is it 30 some odd unit
32.
development that was planned for over there. It went through the planning board, and, you know, the next steps are for them is to, you know, contact the departments to get their sign offs.
It was approved by the planning board?
Yeah.
The applicant's gotta come in here for a
They
water
did.
main?
So that's why, so we
Water
had,
main extension, they gotta come before the board
Correct.
with their
Correct.
plan?
so we met, we had a pre-construction meeting, and we met the owners, and myself and Laura went to the meeting, and, you know, gave them the water main extension application, all the pertinent information. I requested a couple preliminary changes to what I thought you know, as far as the distribution mains and stuff. I told them everything had to be changed to spec. So what I'm gonna just sit down with them one more time to make sure that everything is up to spec, and then we will put it on the agenda for a board meeting for the board to yay or nay, you know, vote, approve or disapprove. So I just want to, we're
Be
working
individual meters up there or one main meter?
individual. No, everything is, in our rules and regulations states every unit has to have its own service line and meter,
The,
so.
the fee, the hookup fee, we realize that every meter is an account,
Absolutely.
and that there's a fee for every account to
Absolutely.
hook up to the town's water
Absolutely.
supply.
Yep.
The developer is,
Yep.
okay.
So basically, I'm just trying to take care of the preliminary stuff, you know, so I don't have to, you know, if we bring it to you and you don't like something, we'll have to go back and forth. I'm just trying to make sure they're all the spec. So, and then we'll bring it to, you know, to you, they'll present it to you guys.
No,
So,
So how many
so-
new customers are there?
it's,
32.
yeah, 30.
32.
Now, there's another one in town, not to get up, that's going in
Yep.
off of Main Street,
So-
that we put
Yep.
that they tied in, and
Absolutely.
they're going in, and those are gonna be individual
That's right.
metered also.
That's right.
That's gonna be upcoming, probably
I am
the
already currently doing
next
inspections.
spring.
I'm letting you know,
So-
I'm doing inspections,
Okay.
inspections already. We've got about, they've got about 150 feet of main laid into the project so far. and they're starting to do their first foundations, the first phase, and I think they're at kind of a halt right now, and then we get some frost out of the ground, and they're gonna continue the main and finish that.
Did they?
But I'm keeping up with them all the.
Did they come before the board with an application for the water? They
Yeah,
did,
they were.
yes, I'm trying to
October.
refresh my.
Yep.
I remember being
so,
out there.
Just to let you guys know,
You guys
I'm-
being out there.
I'm keeping on top of it
Okay,
and making
good.
sure that they're doing everything that they're supposed to be done.
Good.
How many, Jay, how many are they
There's
approving there on Main Street?
Village Green. It is 20.
4.
24?
Isn't it
25?
9 units? Yeah, 24 or 25.
Yeah, yeah. There's 10 buildings or so with like 2 or 3 units in each. You know.
Geez, that's a lot of customers, huh?
We got new customers.
So,
in
yeah,
Well, the
the
thing is
project.
also, it's not just the new customers, each time, each one of these developers, when they come in, they build 30, 40 development, our numbers go up, our withdrawal, and we get closer and closer to the
Yeah, but we've been going.
top of our allowed.
We've been going
commit.
down because people are conserving laws.
Well, it's, the state
We're looking pretty good.
mandates that you preserve and conserve. They mandate with water.
So that's the
Okay.
status on those 2 projects.
And just so you know, ready for PRS, Scott?
Oh, yeah, PRS, the Phase 2
Right.
plan.
So Jay and I met with PRS on Friday, and we're gonna have another meeting this, oh, you brought that with you too, this week, and we're hoping to have PRS come in on the 19th, in a couple of weeks, with a whole presentation for the board to look
And
at.
that's for the SCADA
Right, so we're
and
looking
the
at-
filtration plant, and to bring all the data into this building.
Exactly, to set up all the routers and all the
Yeah.
computers and all the network to this building. And it's very involved. And
To say the
Jay,
least.
and Jay, you talked with Weston Sampson.
Well, yeah, we're just trying to make sure of, see, they contracted, Sheridan Engineering is the contractor that's gonna do the SCADA system. You know, so we're working, because, you know, a certain amount is gonna be done under the contract by them. And, you know, all the stuff to plan, but we're gonna have a base here that certain things need to be done by PRS. To hook
So
into our.
PRS will be working
With them.
with the contractor,
Yeah.
so that it can all
Right, so we can operate, you know,
hook together
from this building.
properly.
You know, we'll be able to run everything from the plant and all that when it's hooked up, but there has been some talk about preliminary until the plant's done, running SCADA from here. You know, when we get the remote well sites done and the plant's not completely finished, that we may be able to run from here as a base until the plant is totally done. So we can be able to run our system, you know, on a new system and get rolling with it, you know. That's yet to be, you know, we still have to really.
That's yet to be determined.
We still really have to work out some stuff, but I think the idea is that, you know, Laura's saying, you know, that we're kind of moving forward with making all that work in the future.
And we don't wanna really backtrack and spend money where we don't need to, because we didn't think it through.
Well, this
you know.
was the whole,
And then the whole phone system, which is.
So long
not-
as the 2 companies are working together,
Right,
so there ain't surprises down the road, say, well, you put your piece in wrong, so. you
Yeah,
know.
we're,
now, is this what's in with the contract to
Well,
the filtration plant?
right now Kinsman is signing with Sheridan for the SCADA system. It's part of his contract. So this is a vendor that we are going to be using.
Yes,
The
but
Board of Water Commissioners, we don't choose.
PRS's work is, is PRS's work is this included? No,
So that's
this
part of
is,
the $1.3 million
Okay.
upgrades. So when we talk about upgrades, and we talk about from the connection over here, the routers, and coming to this building, and I'll show you another, all of this information is gonna be coming different ways. Out to the on-call
but
computers.
the work PRS is gonna do is
Is
not,
integrate, is gonna
it's
integrate.
not covered under
Right.
the
it's covered
contract of the, well, but it's covered under the
$1.3 million.
1.3 that we
So,
took that we got for the,
exactly.
okay.
Is there?
It's
Uh,
complicated.
so I think they wanted to leave it, you know, we have to have a link from our main SCADA computer here to the main, which will be the mainframe at the plant.
Right.
I think they wanted to kind of leave it up to us, because we already had some, you know, we're gonna have servers in place as to how we wanted to make that connection. And that's where PRS comes
Yeah.
in. You know.
Well, they're gonna be
So-
making the connection for us, for our PRS.
Correct.
Right? They're gonna be working, setting this building up to accept
That's right.
Right,
what is gonna be built at the plant.
right.
The only question I have is, does it make sense to have two companies? Can this straight up do what PRS?
No,
Well,
no.
Because it's integrating with, we're running off a router that we're gonna have for the rest of our building here, for the rest of our, it gets, I think when he's gonna come in, I
It's
think.
your
He's gonna
billing
come in.
programs, it's your mapping programs, your billing programs, all they all have to
So Neptune,
intertwine together.
everybody's gonna be,
Neptune, the readers,
Right.
everything. Everything has to intertwine together.
I think a point was that, so instead of spending more money than we needed to have like separate routers and all that stuff,
right,
we're gonna go use the same one, only on a secure VPN connection, which I'm sure Rick will, you know, so there's no threat for security, but your routers will connect you to the main plant.
Well, PRS
So-
is who set up all the programs and the software
So
for
that's what we've been
the
working
billing
on.
and for the Neptune, for the meters, the readers,
yeah.
and all the software, billing programs and everything. PRS has been the one who's
Right.
been, and they also work at, do they also do work for the,
So they're
Town hall?
procured
They
under
do
town
work
hall.
under the town hall?
And we're
the-
included in that stuff. We are part of the town's procurement for PRS
Okay,
as our IT consultant. And that's
Okay.
clear.
Okay.
And,
I just want to make sure, I don't want
No,
that to
there's
come
no-
back and bite us.
and that's really why they released PRS's bills,
Okay.
because they were really procured. There was an appropriation. There was.
Well, I know because,
So- It
yeah.
was cleared.
Yeah,
After a
good.
little investigation, everybody understood PRS's role, and how important it is to the water department. We gotta make connections when the treatment plant comes online. We can't have them stall because we're not ready. So PRS is in the timeline.
right, I mean,
And he'll be coming to talk to you.
Well, I'd like to hear what he has to say, so let's just
Yeah.
go on there.
yeah, he's gonna be in the 19th?
So, yeah, so we're
Okay.
gonna give him at least a
Okay.
half an hour to go through, okay?
Yeah, because right now I'm a little bit confused.
It is
I'm hoping that
confusing.
he straightens us all out.
Okay,
Spring job schedule?
yeah, we did.
You went over this?
Yeah, but we just gotta update it. We did add some things to last week's job schedule.
What do we wanna just,
Yeah, just, you can go
do we
through
wanna just
that.
quickly go through everything?
Yep.
These
go
are
ahead.
kind of our upcoming things going on for 2013. I'm sure you probably saw this, you know, last week. Flushings in April. We have a couple hydrant and gate valve replacements that, you know, that's weather depending as we get closer to the spring. What else do we have that one? I'll address the treatment plant project, just to let you know, we've been having I've been talking with Kinsman and stuff on scheduling, and we will have to, intermittently take down some of the wells for service, to upgrade everything. And as we go through the spring, among all these other things going on, we're gonna have to be really diligent in looking at what's being pulled out, what we're producing, because, we're gonna have well two down.
That
For-
scares me.
I know, but we're gonna, we're taking all, I'm gonna, working with Kinsman, we're gonna have set dates, start, finish, we're gonna be running the other wells.
You're gonna redevelop
and
too?
then- No, two is not in the contract to be redeveloped.
No, but we are going to eventually
After this
redevelop two.
project is all said and done, two will get cleaned and redeveloped. It's not in this contract.
When's the last time it's been done?
It was done in 2000, I believe. 2008, 2009. Which is, well, too, keep a record of the drawdowns. We haven't even lost, I mean, the thing, even in the middle of July, when we're pulling a lot of water, the drawdown is like 3 feet.
Well, it's
I mean, that is amazing.
How far is that well,
Yeah.
It's
the monitoring well?
down?
How far away?
No, I in the main,
You only draw it down
in the
3
main
feet.
casing. Yeah,
It's maintaining at 3 feet.
it's amazing to me, actually.
And what about the monitoring wells? Have you been looking at those
No.
levels?
No, we don't have any,
Okay.
we don't monitor those.
How long did it take this, this year to recover Station 2? It held up through, because we had a pretty dry
It
summer.
wasn't even, the other wells were
Yeah, I know,
were
it's 5
pretty down,
and 3.
well too, like I said,
Why,
was 3, 4, 5 feet.
It
at the
spooks me
most.
when you say
From
you
the
gotta
very top.
take 12-2 offline.
And you're right, you're right. You're right, but it has,
I know.
things have happened at well too, where they've been down for telemetry reasons or
Yeah, yes.
whatever, and we've been all right on 3 and 5. But we're gonna make sure that we have plenty. I'm gonna work it, see what's going on more, but I do foresee that I may want to implement restrictions, starting in May, outside of our stream flow, because, we're taking well two off. It would be very helpful if we did not have a lot of withdrawal.
My next question is, when do you plan on taking well 2
Well,
offline?
it's gonna be in the month of May,
Okay.
mid-May to the end of June. It may change. It may be sooner. It's not gonna be later.
No.
If they foresee,
it
can't be. I already told
It
them.
can't.
So
The whole
like I
month
said,
of
we-
June or just part of June?
Okay, because you can't take
I already
off.
told them it's scheduled in for May, and they said it's about a week
Okay.
down.
Wait,
Like I said, the dates are still. We're working it out, but I've been meeting regularly with
Oh, yeah.
Kingsman.
Yeah.
So I just want to let you know I'm taking care of that. But as we get closer and I do get a date hammered down, I may ask the board to put restrictions on during that time. Because
yeah, well, when
So,
we
I
come,
just wanna let you-
we'll see how it
I
plays.
just want to let you know.
How-
Well 3 is really, we're not doing very well there.
Never have.
But I mean, those wells are clogging up. It's
Mm.
clogged. And this is the thing, is we're not gonna go spend $20,000 to clean it when in 2 months it's gonna be taken out of service anyway.
Right.
That doesn't make it makes no sense.
Right.
So we've been trying to get along,
Okay.
so just, looking forward,
So,
How old is,
so
well
Station
two?
3, we won't use anything up there once the treatment plant's gone,
Oh, no, the water from there will be pumped to the treatment plant.
but we'll still have the building fill up the pumps in there.
Yeah, just the main service pump. They're gonna put it'll all be replaced. Everything's gonna be new. A new VFD drive, new motor, everything. And they're gonna clean it.
Well, 2 was what, 50s,
65,
60?
I
Okay, yeah.
believe.
Has anybody, have we inspected the screen?
The last time we have a full video and we have a full report and everything on it.
That's 2009?
I believe it was 2008 or 2009, I believe.
Okay, so it's doing...
It's just, and it hasn't, it doesn't need it like every other year like the rest of them do.
Well, I'm just wondering about, these screens don't last forever, so
Yeah.
how long is the screen?
Yeah, it was in good shape the last time. They had to do
I
a
saw when we pulled it out, it was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. The
Pull the
cups
screen
were,
out?
when they pulled the shaft up, they pulled everything out the last time we redeveloped it. And the shaft and the cups and everything were corroded. Some of the cups corroded right
on
off.
3.
2.
But what does the screen look like? That's what I'm worried about.
That was when it was, we
Well,
pulled,
the plan is to,
but we replaced.
after this project's done, that following, after the plant's up and running, then
That's
we can
before
take,
you.
then we can take 2 down again, because that's a bigger job, to take 2
Well,
down
just,
for.
my point is,
We had
what about the
pictures of
screen?
it.
Is the screen
Yeah,
okay, because it's a 1965 screen?
it's been
Is
replaced.
it gonna?
Oh, yeah, it has been
It's been
replaced.
replaced.
It
Screen has been
yeah.
replaced?
Oh yeah,
We
it's been
replaced-
rebuilt. They've had
We had to
new
rebuild the
casing and
whole
everything.
thing,
put in.
casing, everything, yeah.
What year was that?
1 year. It was, I think it was just before Let me see, I think it was just before we put, we were working on Station 5. Station 5 was put online in '04, and I think it was
Yes.
around '03 that
Okay,
that was rebuilt. Because it was, like I said, when they pulled that shaft, that case and that shaft out and everything,
Yeah.
and it literally, they went and set it down and it broke in half.
Yeah.
It was a mess, and it was all rebuilt
Yeah.
back then.
So, just inspections, inventory in June. Just for future, it's kind of in our, let's see, in the budget too. The DEP is requiring our emergency response plan as part of the thing to be upgraded, you know, just to incorporate the new plant, so.
Yeah.
That's something that this year that will have to be on the radar to have done. I've already put some initial calls in just to get a feel for that. And our tank cleaning is due this year, so that's kind of on the radar too, to be done, so,
When was the last time we had the tank cleaned?
2008,
2008?
it's our 5th year, so it's gotta be done this year. So those are the big things going on.
Yeah. You've got a busy schedule.
Yep.
Draft mission statement.
You want-
Yeah, go ahead. So Jay started looking at developing a mission statement for the board.
I guess it would.
Do you have a copy, Jay, there?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I've been working on doing a revision of the rules and regs, because the last time was 2008, so I mean, just making sure everything, all the motions, all that, you know, everything's in there. Just, you know, I think, well, me and Laura kind of, she wanted to suggest to maybe adding, you know, just a mission statement like many other water departments have, just as the integrated part of that, you know. So it's just a draft. If the board doesn't want to do it, then that's fine. If you guys want to just review it and change things, it's kind of just a broad, you know.
No, it's just a good overview for the public to understand a little bit about what our objectives are and our vision for the water department. Many towns have this up on their website, you know, just like as an introduction kind of page. I think it would be really good for us to develop our own mission statement. As we talk about 5-year goals or some of our objectives for the water department. So this is really just a draft or an idea, and if you don't want to proceed with this, that's fine. We can, you know, move on to something else, but I think it would be a good thing to have.
Talking to the about the website, have been keeping it updated
Oh, yeah.
with the updates on the filtration
Well,
plant.
Right. Yeah.
we need to
Yeah.
get,
We
yeah.
probably need some new
Yeah,
stuff.
it's been kind of slow because of the winter, Scott. There
The
hasn't
thing is
been
that
much.
there hasn't been much that's changed up
Yeah.
there. They're still like working on the base concrete, so there isn't that much more to see,
Mm-hmm.
you know, with the pictures and stuff. So
Have they, I haven't been up there in a little bit. Have they, are they getting any further on that, over the 3, or they dropped that? They drop all that?
Yeah, they haven't.
Because I wasn't at the last
No.
construction meeting.
That's on hold.
I was, okay.
They've been pulling the cars out up there with the crane.
Yeah, we've
The
been.
site is pretty
Yeah,
messy.
it's pretty-
You've been up
pretty
there.
muddy.
Pulling
I'm
all
sure
the
it
cars
is,
out,
yeah,
the loader
yeah.
and moving.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's been a mess
yeah,
up
I'm
there.
sure
It
it
was,
is.
last week was pretty
Sure it is.
really bad.
I went up there the other day, you go drive up to the plant, there's like a deep hole on the left. Is there an underground storage tank going there or something? It's like they poured a concrete pad down and it looks gone.
Oh, to the left of where the plant sits?
You come up to the plant, it's over to the left a little bit.
That's where the electrical,
yeah.
wasn't it?
No, the new plant, right?
Yeah,
The new plant, up past on the other side.
not quite on the other side, but it's on
Oh.
off to the
Oh,
left
I'm sorry.
from where the plant is.
That's the septic.
No, there's the CIP waste tank.
Yeah.
It's supposed to go over there.
Okay, so there's that waste tank, is that there, that tank that's
Yeah.
there, or that fiberglass tank?
Yeah, they have to wrap it, triple wrap it. There's a lot of different stuff they have to do with that.
So they're gonna tie it down to the concrete because that's.
Yeah, they gotta weight it down and everything, yeah.
It's the water table's high there too.
Yeah, floating?
Yeah,
Tank
so
floating?
they're,
So when are they gonna put that in?
you know, it was on the schedule for this month, I don't know what day. It's not, and then it's not this week.
There's 2 trailers up there. The first trailer, which trailer is that?
One's our engineers and one's the contractors.
Yep.
So the two separate trailers?
Yep.
So where's our engineer's trailer? Is that the first one?
Yeah.
Weston Sampson, the other one's Kinsman on there. Okay, on to number 14, budget, fiscal year 13, budget, special articles, and 014 annual budget. And you said you've been working with the team, meeting with the team?
Tomorrow. Tomorrow's the first day they're gonna see
Okay.
our budget. And, you know, our mission here is to be more transparent
Yeah.
and to give more detail, and more line items. And I can go, you know, we can vote every vendor, we can, you know, vote, I don't know how far they're gonna wanna take our budget.
Well,
into town
I'd
meeting.
like to see what, before we have any comment or anything, to see what the team
Well, I think they're
formulated
looking for you for direction, Scott, you know, so,
has, you know.
because you're the experts on,
Well,
you know.
you know, from my understanding, from the joint meeting with the Board of Selectmen, that it was the team was gonna put this together and bring it back before the board to view.
Okay,
Not
I
that the
can,
board was going to, you know, do it.
so you
That's
want to
why
make a motion and I
I,
can.
that, I don't mind, I'll open it up to my board members too, because that's what my understanding was, is that you're gonna, the team was to consist of the superintendent, the business manager, the town accountant, the
Well, that's-
treasurer,
That's on here,
FinCom,
that's what they voted.
in
To set
that,
up a fiscal team made up of the superintendent, not me, the town administrator, the town accountant, treasurer, which will work on the revenue side with the water rate analysis, on the expense side, and on budget
and
development.
then to bring it back before the board after it's, am I correct or am I wrong? Is that's what it,
The policy was gonna be
Policy.
developed by the team, and then it was gonna bring
bring it back to the
to
board
us for,
to
to
review.
vote on it.
To review and vote on. So, I mean, we can take this, we can take it and go over it.
Well, what's the question in here?
I'm just wondering if we're kind of putting the cart before the horse, because the team hasn't met on this, have they?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, that's what you
tomorrow
said. So
is the
maybe at the
first-
next meeting, the board sits down and sees what the team.
Okay.
They wanna,
Can you-
don't they wanna just see what the numbers are for this? They
Or
want
is
these
that-
numbers to go in, right?
Okay,
Maybe I'm
so,
misunderstanding.
so I'm getting really confused.
So am I.
It doesn't take much. What I was told to do was to develop a draft budget.
Yeah.
We presented I presented a draft budget to you, the Board of
Mhm.
Water Commissioners.
Yeah,
And I broke out as many categories as I can, and we can discuss more with Jay here, who's in the room today.
No, is this out of the packet that you gave us this
This
week
is
or
the-
last
It's the
week?
same
the same thing?
It's the same
It's the same thing you gave us?
Except I added the private treatment company, I threw in $1 there, because I don't know how much and what that person is gonna do.
Okay.
I'm going to bring this packet with your approval to the team.
Yeah.
I don't think the team will be able to sit down and know how much
Okay,
indirect costs, I mean, they know the debt. I mean, we're level funding the salaries.
yep.
But if you think the team is gonna
No, I didn't-
understand about cleaning, you know, in-place filters, I'm not sure where to go here.
I think I misunderstood, Laura, that, you know, I can understand that you'd want the board to look, because that's the same thing you gave us at the last meeting, true?
Right, you were gonna take it home and make any comments to it, and I had passed some on to the finance committee
Okay.
over the weekend. I'm sorry I didn't get to you sooner, but
So that's what you're looking,
And so if we could start on developing, we have two members
that's
of
what
the
you're looking for
finance
tonight,
committee.
is to any, whatever comment we had after reviewing
Yeah, I think
the budget from the last meeting.
I think the feeling is, for town meeting, from the selectmen and the joint meetings, was that, a budget is a budget. It's not, in my mind, if you vote monthly bills at 15,000 and they come into 1501, we haven't overspent our appropriation. We just have to adjust the budget in some other fashion. There's a feeling that we need to put more categories here with more detail into the budget. And we broke out the treatment plant. When you look at the treatment plant here, Peter, just so you know, that was only for 4 months. This budget was only from April to June. You weren't at the last meeting. And then I broke out the Central Street, our daily, distribution on Form 5.
The treatment plan one, which one is that? 'Cause I don't think I have.
I went to Form 5.
Oh, this
Yeah.
is this one here?
Yeah, Form 5.
Okay. But I did have some, I don't know if
Yeah,
this is the time to ask them now.
let's
I've got
find
some
out.
other questions too.
Go ahead, Peter.
Now, Laura, these numbers that are in here, now, Karen was in last meeting, okay, as to the
Let's go
borrowing.
through every page. Let's
Okay.
go through it.
So those numbers are gonna change in our budget,
No.
true?
No. It doesn't, okay, so
Okay.
let's go through it page by page,
Okay.
okay?
All right, what page?
So Form 1 is typically what the residents would see under Article 5. They vote the salaries, they vote our maintenance, they vote our indirect costs, they vote our debt. They've never seen a capital budget from the water department that was not a single article. So this capital budget might be 7 articles. I don't know what direction we're going in, just,
This is not one, this could be as many as 7?
I don't know yet. That's something the fiscal team will help us, decide. So Form 2, if everybody turns to Form 2,
Do we ask questions, or you wanna wait till
let's
after we go
ask
through?
as we go along. all
Okay,
right?
so all your questions will start with Form 1 then?
Yeah,
Or you wanna just
let's
go
wait,
through?
and come back to Form 1,
Oh,
okay?
okay.
So Form 1 hasn't changed since last year.
Well, so you look at Form 1, okay, I put in the actual numbers, so that's actual FY 12.
Yep,
That's the reality, we spent $1,000,001, that's real number.
okay.
FY 13 is our appropriation. We went to town meeting and we appropriated $1.5 million for these categories. We're still in FY 13, we still have, 5 more months to go.
Okay.
So those are not actual numbers, those are our town meeting appropriations.
It's the 1,592,000.
Right,
Quick question,
sure.
projecting it, are we gonna be over on anything?
Okay, so, no.
I mean, you have gut feeling? I mean, you have to go with the gut
I mean-
feeling on that kind of a question.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at, when I look at our cash flow, and I look at, planning out, we've already taken care of all our collections for our debt and indirect costs. Our salaries, if we can keep going the way we're going, and we're gonna be right on target, we haven't had to replace any, or hire anybody, so our salaries are okay. The maintenance line is really something, when we get to Form 5, is really,
Can I just ask you why you, just because, I don't know if we're going back, but why is the salaries level funded for
because the direction from Town Hall right now is to level fund all of our budget. That's what the direction that we got. There are no salary increases that I know about.
Is that,
That seems,
did you hear any contrary thing? or?
what's the, and do you know the reason, or they just said that this?
That's right now, Debbie Egan told me to level fund the salaries with no new people for the treatment plant. and no new upgrades for the employees. We have a long way to go here, Peter, I think. We really, really have a long way to go.
Do you know what the percentage of your fiscal year 13 has been used?
For the maintenance line?
For your grand total, on the 1.59?
I do that at the top of my head right now. I think we're about 63%.
63% available or 63% used?
Because the debt, see, when you look at our total budget, the debt, we have heavy debts in November, and then we have heavy debt in June. So the debt is really what plays into the percentages here.
Okay.
So when people start looking, we're not like any other department because of the kind of business we do. So I like
That's why I'm asking, because I don't
when you look,
understand.
yeah, so it looks, you know, it looks like, yeah, we're heavy here, but then all my debt is paid off.
Okay.
So I'm going to get into a whole cash flow with the finance team and with the, I think everybody needs to see, we have electric heat here. So we might not be buying parts, but the heat comes on. So, you know, there's things that go up and down
Well,
on our
there's
budget.
variables, right, and I don't know the answer,
Yeah.
that's why I'm asking.
I can do a whole, you know, I have a little bar chart, you know, I can put together every single, you know, line and where we are percentage. I look at all that,
We can use some like
I don't think it's necessary for you to provide us with
Yeah.
that. I don't know the answers.
No, I think it would make people feel better. I think there's been a lot of talk about the percentages, and I think it needs to be addressed. You know, because a percentage is a percentage, you know, but we're looking at the business of the
Well, that's
running
why
the
I
water
suggested in
department.
our finance committee meetings, because we have some of this stuff going on with the police department too, where we get all these charges that go up and down. And if they could just explain, whenever you have something that doesn't fit a nice little,
Right,
you know, stream, just make a little explanation with an asterisk or something like that, so, I mean, because other than that,
Well,
we're
it's
just
the
looking at
emergency department
numbers.
says all variables.
Yeah,
You know,
I
there's
mean-
fixed and then there's
But,
variables.
yeah,
I think that's really important for me to be able to communicate not only to my board, to anybody. I'm hearing what people need from us, and it's a little new behavior here. But right now, we're level funding all the salaries. I
is that
think
just because that's the initial draft, you're doing it that
that's what
way,
they
and
told us to do. That number's gonna have to be shifted.
Okay.
Can I just, and I'm sorry to interrupt you.
That's okay.
I did have a question, and it's back a couple of forms, but it does go back to the wages and salaries.
Yeah.
The new hire that you'll be bringing in for the administrative assistant, will that be at the same rate as the previous administrative assistant, or?
Well, that's
That's actually up to the personnel board.
Yeah, our typical experience is that we might hire somebody more than the person, you know, that's already in the position.
Well,
I
I noticed that it was
Yeah.
denoted that it was a union position, so I didn't understand if there was
They're
a
starting-
union hierarchy.
No, there's the starting pay, I believe, is
wage progression.
$16.33, and Marie's making, what,
They
18.66?
usually, when they fill a position, the personnel in the past, what they've done is they've looked to fill the position mid-range of the labor grade that it
And they
is.
follow the wage progression.
So
Okay.
that, you know, that's
Yeah.
usually what the personnel board, but that is, because a union position
Right.
is up to the personnel board. The labor grade is, but it's usually the personnel board that sets it, and when
Right,
it comes in, you do the wage action form, you go up to Ms. Egan and the personnel board, and they set that.
yeah, so we might save a little bit there, Jamie, you're right. I don't think that, you know, Marie's on,
I mean, it's minimal, I'm just,
She
Yeah.
was at
I'm
she was
looking
at the top.
she was over the range.
She was over the
Yeah,
range?
She was
Right.
over the range.
Yeah.
She's been
See,
here for
that's-
20 years, so.
Sometimes that's a problem too, because when you go over the range and somebody retires and that, or leaves, they've been in the position for such a long time, you know.
right, I was just curious about
Yeah.
if there may be an adjustment. You know,
Yeah.
Minimal, when you're
So
looking at
you-
the great budget.
So you're gonna see those adjustments, not until we put in actual numbers. You know, and I thought I should really maybe have a column in there for where we are. I think what I'm hearing from you, it'd be nice to put a column in here, not set in stone, but where we are. You know, appropriation and actual, you can see, you don't even know what the actual was that we appropriated. You know, there's no rhythm to that.
Well, whatever you feel comfortable doing is
Yeah,
fine with me.
I don't think there's gonna be too much savings in Marie's pay, to be
No,
honest
and that's
with
what
you.
I mean, is I understand that it won't,
Some of the
will not be significant.
No, it's not
Some
gonna
of the-
matter to this budget.
expenses that you look, that the increases in expenses, while of course you look at the maintenance for the treatment plant, it's 100% increase because we never had that line there before. You know, so it's an expense that we've never had before, which
Right,
you're now putting in because you're in 014, your plant's coming online.
right.
And so, you know,
So what is the difference between the maintenance and the maintenance treatment plant?
Okay, so let's go through each form so that we, because
Okay.
that's really where we're gonna get
Okay,
into the,
Mhm.
we're gonna get into the nuts and
Yeah.
bolts of it. So Form 2 is our debt. This is what Karen Summit presented to you last week,
yep.
and these are real numbers. So our actual debt in FY12 was $187,000. We appropriated in 13, 442, 726. And now we're requesting $810,599.59, or an 83% increase. It's a big part of our budget, guys.
Yeah.
Right here, when we look at our increase, we have $500,000 that's going to be included in this debt, because when we get to Form 5, there's another $100,000 in admin costs. So this is
And
really,
that's the
This is set in
administration cost on the note itself.
yeah, there's no negotiating on
No.
Form 2.
No,
And so when I look at my cash flow for FY13, I've already set my money aside for my debt, so that I don't have to worry about raising rates or anything. This is something I'm looking at to protect the ratepayers, make sure.
so in fiscal year 13, we're paying no principal on that, just all interest
Yeah,
on
that interest
on
is,
the water treatment plant?
yeah, and that interest is not due until June, so be working with Karen Summit on that. So that's set in stone. There's nothing you can do about that.
So the increase, is that, that's due to the debt's gonna start kicking in, we have to start making payments?
Because we permanently borrowed next
Right.
month the
Yep.
treatment plant prior to us finishing the project.
And that was what, the 10.9, well, actually it was more.
10.9.
10.9.
So if you look above the line 14 and 15, I put in, that's the $1.3 million. We already started paying on that.
Right,
This fiscal year.
Yeah.
So that's the $1.3 million, and then the 10.9, I put the notes right in there.
What's the overlap with line 14 and 15 and line 16 and 17?
So we have two debts for the treatment plan for a total of $12.3 million.
Because the engineering costs in the pilot programs and all that we had to do to get, could not come out of the SRF.
Okay, so the
The
1.3
is
is
what couldn't-
engineering cost?
Is what couldn't come out of the SRF
Okay.
when we did the upgrade to the meters, the meter readers, the meter program, the engineering costs. There was a whole
We still have
costs
things,
associated with the 1.3.
we still have, we have a generator that is gonna go to this building, that's gonna come out of the $1.3 million, Scott, we haven't purchased yet.
Right.
And the computer upgrades that we're working on, the
Now-
phone system,
What is left in that, in the
it's about
1.3?
60,000, close to 70,000 left for the miscellaneous items that,
No, that was for the SCADA, that was no, the SCADA system is part of the contract, is part of the SRF contract,
the
right?
$1.3 million
No,
it's not part of, that's part of the 10.9.
10.9, that's what I meant,
Yeah.
that's what I meant. It's
Yeah.
part of the 10, the SCADA is part of the 10.9.
Right, that's,
Okay?
but the IT, the
The
rate is coming out of the
1.3 with PRS and setting it up here, that's what
Right.
we were talking about
Right.
earlier.
Right.
Let me get this thing straight. So we appropriated like about $13 million,
12.3.
12.3.
Yep.
Of that, we're responsible with our rates and our business to cover 1.3 with the engineering and other things.
Excuse me.
Engineering, upgrades and things of that nature. You can't tap into the SRF for that money?
Okay, so the SRS
I'm
is
still
paying
reading.
monthly for engineering for the treatment plant. The original engineering
Budget right now. Probably another half.
Design,
design, that was not covered by the
Okay.
SRF,
Okay.
and that was out of the
All
million
right,
three.
dear, Dr. Bear's office,
Yeah.
never called me.
So, there's a lot of things that, this is really what I'm doing, spending a lot of time on, Tim. There's a lot of stuff that goes into this.
well, the 1.3, I don't know, I thought that was gonna come out of the SRF money.
No, we permanently borrowed that on the
Okay, so we
market.
borrowed that,
We borrowed that
Okay.
on the market,
Okay.
yeah. And we got a really good interest rate on that
all right,
also.
I wasn't really aware of that, but,
That's why when we
So-
do the change orders, and I tell you SRS rejected
yeah,
a change order, they don't have to accept everything.
Yeah.
That money is gonna come out of either your maintenance line or out of the million
so
three.
is it, the
So-
time we had to get the added insurance, is that going to 1.3?
No, so they totally rejected that from the treatment project, from the borrowing altogether.
So
That
we
had
had
to
a-
come out of our maintenance line, which was not a budgeted item
Okay,
in FY '13. So when we talk budgets, we gotta be flexible for unforeseen items that come at us.
Yep.
Um,
so we're really only borrowing from the SRF, like 10.9,
I think we're gonna
almost
bring,
11?
what I'm seeing from the treatment plan, there's no guarantees. I think we're gonna bring it in under the 10.9, and we're gonna be giving money back.
Okay,
I really feel, we got through a lot of the big expenditures on the site that we thought we might have to.
They're just beginning up there, so I'm gonna reserve any and all
I
comment
think-
till it's done.
I think we're doing good from my
Yeah.
experience with what's going on up there.
Well,
the
that's
fiscal year 14, we're just dealing with the 810, 600,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. So that's set in stone.
That's set in stone.
Nothing we can do about the
Kind of what Karen said last
8.10.
week.
Can I just ask you a question on those amortization schedules?
Sure.
Like, why is it like on 2, you're thinking, well, item number 7 is gone down appropriation almost 1/2 now, what's the reason? for
Okay,
that?
so that's part of the refunding, when Jackie went and refunded those debts.
Okay,
So we got lower interest, and
okay,
yeah, so we saved about, Peter, close to $50,000 in interest payment over the next 10 years.
okay.
And that was really to help us prepare for the new debt we were taking on.
What about you don't need corrosion control anymore?
It's fully, that debt is
That's all
complete, and we
complete?
have one more, our last payment on this garage rehab. All the
Okay.
garage that we're talking about right now, our last payment is in FY '14. That was a 5-year debt for $100,000, and we're done. So in FY '15, we have roughly $21,000 less in debt payment.
So how does the $140,000 fit into that
So the
12 and 13?
Okay, so 12 and 13, the borrowing in 2008 was only $100,000.
Yeah.
The 40 came out of our free cash. We didn't borrow that money. We added it to the article.
Okay,
So when we talk about the article and the way it was written, we gotta be clear to the residents where the money came from, what the intent was. We couldn't change the words of the original article. So there's some conversation that I'm
Okay.
sure we'll have with the selectmen in the next couple of weeks about that. But the 40,000 was not borrowed money. That came out of our free cash.
so we can't talk, in this page, Form 2, we can't talk about the 46,000 that we're over on this
We're
garage.
gonna talk about that in our special town meeting articles.
Yeah,
Um,
but that's not on here,
no,
okay, because it would have to have been appropriated beyond.
right, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
And we have some experts here in the room to help us through it, okay? So this is pretty much set in stone. We're gonna have to put up 810,000.
So that's with the debt service,
Yeah.
the debt
The
request.
next section is our indirect costs, set in stone. This is an Excel sheet based on how many family plans we have, how many single plans we have, our life insurance cost.
Where's this?
Form 2 is our indirect, I'm sorry, Form 3
Okay.
is our indirect cost. We're level funding it because we're level funding our salaries.
Which one is it? This form here?
Form 3, yeah,
We're going to
go
the-
to the
yeah,
next
go
one then.
one more,
Go
Tim.
one more, Tim.
Well, so why did the appropriation go up double on it?
Okay, so what
Put them on top
happened
of mine.
in FY13 is we had to pay back a deficit in our free cash deficit of 70,628. That was a directive from Sue Bailey and Town Hall. The water department owed the general fund that amount of money. So we do not owe that in 14, okay? And in fact, our free cash is not certified, but we're going to have some free cash to work with because we went from quarterly billing to monthly billing. We had 2 extra commitments in FY13 that were not anticipated. We went monthly billing in April. So we had May and
Yeah.
June billing where we collected money that was FY14. We didn't anticipate that. I think there was some talk that we were going to go monthly billing in December. We would have had 5 extra billings, and that would have gone out to our free cash. And we'll talk a little bit about that. The water department is in pretty good shape. It's not because we raise rates, it's because we add extra billing. So I did budget in here for our life insurance. We were low over the last couple of years in what we were, Sue and I spent a lot of time in indirect costs and looking at our actual staffing here, and we had some adjustments to be made. And so you see those adjustments here with our life insurance and our health insurance. Our accounting fees are our accounting fees, the treasurer's office, the auditor, and our Medicare is based on 0.0145% of our salaries. So if our salaries go up, that number is going to go up a little bit. But we're seeing a 23% decrease in indirect costs because we're not paying back the deficit.
That's 70,000,
Yeah.
correct? Okay.
Yeah. So that's what's going on there.
But the health insurance increase
Well, we've always estimated that too low in the past, Scott.
by
So
23,971.
Sue and I are
Employee, too.
working, yeah.
We have new employees, so.
No,
Well,
we
yeah,
just
I'm
didn't
just-
fund it correctly. I don't take the health care, so you know. So
Oh, you didn't?
No, I don't take health care, so it wasn't a good number to begin with. So
Okay.
Sue and I worked on that number, and
So it's more of a realistic
Yeah.
number now?
yeah, it's a reality.
Okay.
But if you add staff, then we need to adjust
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Yeah.
So
And-
the number back last year wasn't right, so it was
Yeah,
kind
so
of a guesstimate.
it's a budget. It goes
No, I
back
know,
to,
I know.
it's a budget, and we gotta keep that in mind, you know, this
The
is.
county retirement, that's kind of fixed,
Yeah.
right? No, how come that didn't go up?
Because our salaries didn't go up. It's a percentage of our salaries.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that didn't go up, that won't go up. So then the next sheet is our actual, you know, what everybody's making, and we look at our standby, our overtime weekend, our holiday pay, our emergency overtime. We used to pay the treasurer's office to do some work for us. We're not paying them anymore. And the highway wages in there is when they help us out on overtime.
Mhm.
You know, we have the highway guys, if we're using their trucks, they might be driving them, Jay, right? So that's kind of, and in FY 12, we had a transfer, we were 20,000 short in our wage line. I just made a note down there. This is an area where we might have a transfer at town meeting based on the overtime. You know, it seems like a lot of money for overtime, but we use it. That's all I have to say.
Where were we last year for overtime?
66,000, but we transferred 20,000 at town meeting, so that's where the 80.
So that was the actual for
Yeah.
2012, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We run 24 hours, 7 days a week, and holidays. So that's just a number. So now we're going to get into Form 5, but before we do that, can we just go into the capital budget,
Which is very low.
which is right behind, yeah, so starting here,
Okay.
what Jay and I have done in FY,
Capital budget, that's what
Start the fire. budget.
Yes.
the, Form 5.
so we have a good handle right now on all our assets. And Jay has spent a lot of time taking inventory of every hydrant in town, where it's located, the year it went in service, the brand of hydrants it was, and this is the summary of all of that. We still have private fire hydrants that we don't maintain, but they're part of our system. And then we went into our system valves, and we went through the whole exercise of that. And then we went into our vehicles, which is on that next page, looking at our vehicles. So, for FY 13, this year, special town meeting, I see 2 articles for vehicles. One would be to replace truck 5 that we have sitting out there, and one would be to replace truck 10 in FY 13.
I don't see why we need, to put, like, truck 10 in, we don't have any, so we can drive one anyway, yeah.
Well, we can handle who's driving, that's an easy
No,
thing.
we don't have anybody with a license, so why do we
We
need
need
to buy a
to
new truck?
talk to the
Well,
union,
I
this
think
is a,
the,
yeah, this will be a union, we can fix that, Roy, we can fix that.
I
Well, you know what I'm saying, is I
I
just
hear
can't see
you.
spending
I
that
think the
money.
background on that is that several months ago, like the superintendent had me, check out just to get an idea of new trucks, and we had looked at some of the ones that are under the 26, the GVWR.
We're gonna buy a truck, we're gonna buy a truck, it's gonna
That,
do the
that
job.
hold just as much weight as.
And you cannot hold them on the road, and I've driven them, no.
That's what all the towns are doing now.
If we're gonna buy a truck, we're gonna buy one like what the size we got, it's the same as the highway department.
Well, it's up to you guys. I think we're just expressing what we feel we need. And
No, it's just, that's, all they're doing is just trying to get it underneath the CDL.
Where's the,
yeah, so everybody can drive it. That was the.
And then there's a whole insurance, that we can talk about that, we can do that, we can do whatever you like, Roy. But we gotta weigh it all out too.
I mean, like right now, I mean, we get enough pickups.
Well, the dump
we got?
truck's in 1989, okay, the dump truck is 24 years old. Okay,
How many miles did we put on it this year?
yeah, but have you gone in it? I mean, it's pretty rough, okay, it's not safe, in my mind. Just like truck 5, we can throw money at these things, but,
The thing is, we've
Yeah.
already put the money into them, is what I'm trying to say.
well, maybe
We
we
should
can
have
sell
stopped
it.
that a year ago,
We
if that's what we're gonna
should've.
do.
We
What-
didn't though.
where on this form do we say we're getting a new, putting in?
So
for a new
going
truck?
back to your truck form here,
I've got it right here, yeah. Truck number 1 through 13.
truck number 5 is an FY 13 appropriation out of free cash to to get a new truck 5.
Where's that shown on the form?
Well, that's on your FY13 sheet here. This is proposed special town meeting. If you do not do this, then I need to put it in FY14 budget. We need a truck 5 desperately. And we need a dump truck, either fixed or not fixed.
Why do we need another pickup? We've got more pickups out there, we have people now.
Well, it's the utility body factor, you know? So, we have, you know, the guys that are driving dump trucks, they go do regular service calls, they're throwing keys in the back of the truck, you know?
I mean, we get 2
Thing
pickups
is,
out
if
there
you
with
get-
utility bodies right now, correct?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, when we get into like the summer especially, we tend to spread out a lot. When we get really busy, we may have 2 guys doing a tap, 1 guy in the meter truck, 1 guy doing wells, you know, and the thing is all the trucks just go, you know.
But what I'm saying is we've got enough vehicles out there to cover every person here. I mean, that's what, I mean, we're trying to
also
save
thing
money.
is, we're gonna, once the treatment plant, you know, comes online too, you're gonna, that's 1 truck gone, you know, too, that personnel will have. And we haven't gained any trucks, you know, so we're just replacing the truck that's been existing in our system.
The 1 ton, that's the 2003? The 1 ton dump?
Truck 13,
Yeah. It's not a pickup, it's a dump, right?
It's a dump,
It's a dump truck.
yeah, it's a
Uh,
dump.
So we're talking about replacing a couple of trucks. We
So-
go from the sheet that has all the trucks on it. Where do we go to the, we go
Okay.
to this detailed
So-
spending by year?
right. So what I did was a 5-year capital plan, starting with the Ranger, assuming truck 5 and truck 10 were replaced this year. And, you know, Stu Dalzell brought up a really good point at your last board meeting, that when he compared the light department's gas bills to our gas bills, we're spending $1,000 more because our trucks are old, they're not efficient. The light department is running all new trucks, diesel trucks. You know, they're saving gas, they're saving in repairs. Because of this fixing up thing that we're doing, we're spending more money on maintenance and gas. So it's a choice. It's a real choice that the board has to make.
Okay, so
See,
getting into
the
the
problem
details.
then, Laura, is the trucks before, they were just sending them out and fixing them.
I know.
And nobody was saying anything, and then all of a sudden we get the bills
It's not your
back.
fault, I
And-
know.
Way too much money was spent on these trucks.
If I had known this
And
situation.
now you gotta hang on to them to do something with them, because I mean,
Well,
you just
we can't use truck 5. We can't.
we're gonna have somebody look at that.
We can't fit, the insurance will not insure that truck for our guys safely to go on the road with. We can part it out and try to get some money, but you can't put anybody behind the wheel in that truck.
You saw the thing, you save it down the road a week later.
Whatever, it's not our liabilities, Roy. We gotta think about the town's
No, I'm just saying, we put
liabilities.
$4,000 into it to a $500 truck. It was stupid.
That was, but I didn't make that decision.
Neither did I.
Who made that decision?
So this year, for fiscal year 14,
13,
for 14,
414.
we're trying to decide now whether to appropriate money to put it up in an article for a truck
So for
or
FY14.
2 trucks.
No, for FY14, we were going to replace the Ranger truck 4, which is a 2002. That truck's 10 years old.
Where is that on what sheet am I looking at?
It's in the capital.
I know.
Look at 2013.
This one
I know.
here,
With the
Capital
free cash
plan.
flow.
It doesn't
Yes,
sound like they
Tim.
want to do that.
It's the 014.
So,
There you go. It should have truck.
Meter truck,
Yeah. I think
35
That's
grand.
what they got. In, as capital expenditures, this is what you've,
so this sheet here is based on the way the town operates. When we look at police cruisers, we look at highway department, we look at the whole town, there's a 5-year replacement. You might tell us, we're on a 10-year replacement, Laura. We can hold on to our trucks
All right,
for
so
10 years.
We're looking at that first block of costs.
Right, FY
Hydrants,
14.
gate valve.
Right,
Cleaning wells. Meter truck, number 4.
right. Assuming we get truck 5 and the dump truck, but if you're telling me that we're going to keep these 2 trucks and we don't need them, I don't know if you want me to put them into the FY 14 budget. Or does the fiscal team decide this? I don't know.
Well, the loader comes out of the,
The load is a whole different story. but
comes
let's
out
not-
of the,
yeah.
the-
Yeah, don't worry about the loader, but we need to just address the trucks we have. Do we need them? Do we not need them?
question is, we need to replace truck number 4, which is the meter truck, right?
Well, we're gonna
Right
have,
now.
that's FY 14.
That's for this budget. We gotta
Right.
figure out what's,
I think Laura's, we started talking about the capital, is that we wanted to try, I think she wanted to try to get on like how the police and every other department does, and try to get on a replacement type of plan when we really, I think that was the intent, right?
That was the intent.
To try to set like every 5 years or every, to just replace them, so there's some value still there, Whereas we're using them up till they're totally, absolutely shot now and there's no value left. I think that was
And then
the
we
whole
can trade
turnaround
in,
thing like the
yeah.
police department does. is
you
when
go
they-
past 6 or 7 years, it's worth nothing anyway, so.
So I
Unless you
think-
wanna throw money at it all.
So I mean, I think that's why we, I thought that was Laura's
That
intent,
was the intent.
to try to
I
trade
get
them
you.
while they still have value.
So what you have is a plan here, over the time, over this 5-year period, is to replace trucks.
To replace 1 truck a year,
Yes.
4 hydrants a year, 2 gate valves, clean 1 well,
Go ahead.
and we're gonna clean the store, let's go through each line, because it'll make more sense. So, what Jay has put together is a schedule of all the fire hydrants in town, and we're going to turn them all over to waterless fire
Yeah,
hydrants.
we've actually been doing some of this, here and there, but we're actually, putting it into a capital plan now.
Right,
So I mean,
so it's coming out of our maintenance line into a capital plan. Okay? So
Okay,
we're
so you're getting more organized with capital.
exactly.
Okay.
And so we're more transparent, so everybody knows what they're voting on. So we're gonna replace 4 hydrants a year, and Jay has a whole schedule of what those 4 hydrants are. We're gonna do 2 gate valve replacements on top of any water break, of course, that we have.
One quick question. How many gate valves we have?
So if you go to your other
600 and
600 and what was
the ones the ones that we're working on though are the original system that we've had several.
Oh, so you have a designated
I have a plan.
target.
Yeah, I have a replacement plan. We've had in
How
probably
many
for a
things
couple.
done?
Well, I know I had been after him for a while, and Jay, when we brought Jay on board, he got a gate valve schedule going to replace the old gate valves in the older trunks in town, Main Street, 133,
The ones that
Central
fail,
Street. The ones that are failing, because when they go down like dominoes. When you get a break and you go down and you need to shut one down, and then they start failing because of their age. So we started on that.
These
We
gate valves are
started-
failing? Are they under the water table or something, or?
Yeah, they're in 40s vintage, yeah,
Yeah.
1940s.
We just find that the stems are just
Yeah,
snapping.
they're very old. and
I don't think the quality was there.
How big is the gate valves?
8-inch, 10-inch.
So the big ones for the
Yeah.
water mains?
Yeah,
Okay.
they are.
So if you're gonna replace or fix a water break, you gotta replace these gate valves to be able to shut down one.
Well, it depends on well.
The older ones.
Yeah.
We have
So that's
found
this,
in
Like
this
like,
here.
you know.
That's what- we try to outline it for you, Tim.
Yeah.
So you can see the year they went into service, 1950, we have 36 of them.
Okay.
And,
For instance, here's a good for instance. Okay, we had the water break down on Main Street, down by Agawam Service Center. Okay, and they went to shut the gate valve down, and they went and turned this is on Main Street, and they went to turn it down, and the top nut snapped right off of it, couldn't close it down. So now you go from the intersection of Kittery Ave, you go up to the next gate valve, up to the intersection of Jellison Road in there, and you try shutting that one down, okay? And then that one failed. Now you go you go to the next one up, and you go up to Warehouse Lane, and they went and turned it, and it finally shut down, I do believe.
Yeah, well, that's because we had already replaced that one because
of
a break farther down the other way.
Right.
I got you.
So sometimes what we're finding, we've been really, the past couple of years, we've been,
they've been really diligent.
On Main Street, I don't have many left.
Okay.
That haven't been
I see the point.
We've really been working really on this the past couple of years. It's been big time.
I mean, all the ones in center town.
What happens when you break one and then you gotta go back and fix that one?
Well, we have a couple right now that have snapped up sitting under the street right now, but we can't, it's not we can still shut that section, so it's not an absolute emergency situation.
Just have to go out further
But
and shut more people down.
It didn't snap when it was halfway down or
Snap
three-quarters.
shut.
It snapped shut?
Oh yeah, that's what they usually do.
So it snaps shut, so the water comes in from the other direction?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're old. They're old.
We got that's on our schedule. We've got several. The good thing is last year I implemented the gate valve exercising program. So we went and we exercised every gate in town.
Calisthenics,
we went through. So
well, this is the thing too. Is when you go out, this is where you find the ones that aren't working and the ones that are
we found
working.
ones shut. And the thing is, a lot of them they haven't been turning so long that when you go to shut them down, they snap. So we really went out. And, one of the items I think on our somewhere here is a new gate valve turner.
I guess what this boils down to is whether or not we vote to say, okay, let's replace one of the trucks this year.
Right.
Okay, so that's the bottom line.
Well, it all depends. It starts with FY13 special. We got thrown into truck 5. If I'm hearing correctly, we don't need truck 5, then we just take it off.
So instead of putting truck 4 there, maybe put truck 5?
Exactly, and I would just shift it all down.
So the question is, Roy's got a good point. Why do we need truck 5?
Well, because we have truck 7, and that's the heavy duty utility crane truck. I want it in the winter. The thing it doesn't have full drive. It gets stuck on a piece of grass, So we take that one out when we have like big jobs, water main breaks and stuff like that. And like I said, when we're getting to the busy season, every truck goes each direction, and including we've had truck 5 on. That was out every single day up until the day it was popped,
Well, I get the point. You want to try to keep up with everything. So I mean, I don't know. My feeling is that can we save money by putting that off a year, or do we need the truck to replace?
Also, too, is
what do you think, Roy?
Our treatment plan is going to be online. And so you're going to have one guy designated to that when that comes online, full time.
I think in the truck replacement, we should go one at a time.
He's going to...
Not 2.
Well, we are going one at a time, right?
You're going to try
we got 5 and 2.
You're going to slip everything down, Roy.
Yeah, we're going to slide
You're going to
everything
slip everything down and put truck 5 into that category.
In the 014 category.
Yeah.
And start that with truck 5.
I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll get talking about
Now, do we have
that.
to buy brand new? Can we buy something that's used?
So we
Kind of
typically,
defeats
I
your
don't know.
5-year purpose,
I don't know.
doesn't it? Tim?
typically we buy off of the state contract for our trucks. We don't get
Well, I
into
would think
procurement.
if you-
I don't know how we
If
would
you're gonna
procure
buy
a
used, it
truck.
kind of defeats your purpose of
Yeah,
setting
it
up a 5-year plan of replacing.
I know, I'm
vehicles.
just asking a question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, but
I
we
think you
have,
save money.
we have,
Did we ever
We-
consider lease?
we bought,
I mean,
We started looking into that. I know John did. Unfortunately, we're so hard on our trucks, and even though we have low mileage, nobody wants them. The seat in the Ranger has a huge hole. I tried to drive the Ranger the other day, and you can't even sit on it.
no, I just,
I mean,
wondering if we
they're
better off,
used.
especially like.
I think if we could find something where, because we customize our trucks to our business, if that would be okay with them. Like we put all the strobes on the corners and everything, and then we put racks in, certain utility bodies, we ripped it. you know, we get them with utility boys, we don't get them with the main fleet side, you know. Is that okay with that company that we lease from, that we do all that stuff to their truck? I think you'd have to find that out first.
Well, I mean, it might be something we want to check into down the road, you know.
I haven't had supper, and I'm starving.
Can we take the utility
Go on with
body
this.
off of this truck and put it on a new one?
Truck 5?
Yeah.
It's gone, it's not even,
The utility thing is
you
junk.
could go like this and probably push it off the side of the truck,
It's
it's
junk,
totally
Tim.
rotten.
That
Totally
truck
right.
is junk.
It's a
We've already rebolted it
1999.
like 3 times.
The truck is a 1999 truck that we're talking about. When you look at our trucks, all of our trucks, except for John and truck 10,
And it's plowed its whole
are
life.
10 years or more old. I mean,
It's a
23,
1999.
15 years, 20. We gotta start thinking about replacing the trucks.
Truck 5
No,
is
but I'm saying one a year.
1999, it's plowed its whole
definitely, I'm
life,
with
it's
you.
junk.
I mean,
Yeah.
unfortunately, if they all break tomorrow, we're gonna be replacing 10 trucks.
What if we,
I mean-
what if we, instead of doing one every year, Laura, what if we do one every 2 years?
Okay, so what's happening now is that we have free cash available this year because we have the 2 billing. So we have money that we don't have to raise rates, and we can get the trucks in order to start on the plan. If we don't use that money, then we work, you know, on building it into the rate structure. I have to raise rates next year to buy a truck where I have money this year that I don't have to raise rates on.
So you have the money now,
I have the money
and then there's
now.
no ability to take that money and bring it over to next year?
Unfortunately, we have to go through the whole certification of free cash. I have to raise rates based on 14.
So what kind of,
So it's a catch-22. I am working with the finance team on developing a stabilization account. We can't call it that.
okay, so,
We
in
have
other
a
words,
long way to go.
accounting-wise, we should
We should
really
replace the
consider
trucks.
getting a truck this year. Now,
Yes.
what kind of money do we have to be able to do this?
I can't say that because we haven't certified the free, we have enough to cover handling the debt refunding, the garage situation, the truck 5 and 10, the gate valve exerciser, and the storage area, and still have money left over in our FY13 to get recertified in FY14. It's looking good for the water department. Because we had 2 extra billing.
Can we buy a vehicle without going to town meeting
No,
to get it appropriated?
no, you need, everything we do from now on is going to town meeting.
So how
I'll put
can we
my
spend
foot
that
down.
money that's available now
In May, in the special.
in the special meeting?
We're gonna
Okay,
go to special.
so we're buying a new vehicle in May
If you choose to, if not, then we
or
just,
June?
then
I
we,
think you guys just have to, whatever you want to go to that special,
Yeah.
you have to write an article for, I think is,
I need
I mean, I'd like to
direction.
see us just do one a year, myself, the way I feel.
Okay,
that's fine, I just think the way Laura was explaining is that the money is there
for
now,
this year.
to be
and
able
then
to,
go
be able
one
to
a
do
year.
that, and then, you know,
Then go one a year.
I don't know, how do you feel, Roy? I think we can move on with truck 5?
We've been
No.
on it for a half hour, I
Truck
think it's
5,
time to move
replace.
on.
Hang on to 10 for another year, replace that next year. You know, and do one a year. I mean,
I agree,
not
hang on
2
to
in 1
10.
year.
Hang on to 10.
just one comment on the truck 10 is,
Then
when
we can
when our
drive.
treatment plant comes online, and we have the loader incorporated, that's gonna be part of our sludge removal, is using that new dump truck with the loader to, as part of our operations. So that was one of the reasons we had put it on for earlier. But that can change, that just, you know,
Put truck 10 on because we needed a truck. for-
What do you mean for moving it around up there?
yeah, we'll be hauling the sludge to Agrisource, you know, whatever. When you
Are we
have-
sure that that's where it's gonna go though?
No, but I'm just using an example, you know. That's how, you know, every other town, they do the same thing, they
So
make-
you-
So I mean, you
I
definitely
said-
gonna need a bigger truck, you
Scrape-
ain't gonna
scrape
get
it
by
on
with
the
a
side.
smaller truck.
Yeah, we've already looked at trucks with bigger bodies than that and stuff, you know. Like I
So
said,
you're gonna need a 33 or better.
that was,
Do we need
It's
truck
difficult,
10 for
I know.
that?
It's
Is that what
difficult.
we're planning? Is that part of the plan?
Yeah.
Okay.
that was one of the reasons, you know. I think the hangup is with the truck 10, is that is that we don't have anybody to drive it, and we would probably use that truck a lot more if anybody could drive it, and I know that's where the hangup is. But you also, you know, it's hard to just, you gotta be careful when you just say employees.
Can we
go out
move
and-
on to something more in the budget and enough
So we gotta make a decision on the truck,
on a
right?
truck? I thought the decision, we're gonna do one truck in 014,
Can we
right?
flip these things down and put in a replacement for truck 5? Is that what we're talking about right now?
That's what we're agreeing.
And we're only talking about one truck, right, Roy?
Right.
I think one a year, myself, not two in 1 year.
We'll replace truck 5 in 014.
So you're not gonna use your free cash for FY, okay.
No, wait a minute, wait, no.
You're in
We gotta
FY
use it for
13.
fiscal year 13.
You have,
We gotta get it approved at the town meeting in May.
And we
spend
would
that
buy,
money.
and we would buy it in May and have it before June 30th.
So we gotta use the 2013 money.
it's free cash money.
Why don't we come back
It
to this?
goes into
It
free
seems
cash,
like
it's
we're
whether
not-
you use it then or not.
I think we can move
It
this
stays
right
in
out
free cash.
downtown. So let's just make a decision, let's just do it.
Do truck 5 this year out of that free cash.
2013.
Put truck 10 into FY 14.
And put your Ranger into,
No, we gotta put truck 10 in, because we need it for the treatment plant.
We can change that next year if we have to.
It has to be in FY 14, and then I'll put the Ranger into FY 15 and slide it all down.
What was in fiscal year 13 anyway? Was there a truck replacement or we just kind
No,
of?
no, I mean, this
Okay,
is,
all right, never mind. Never
this
mind.
is our, you know, we didn't plan, we just planned to repair them. We didn't plan for the gas tank to fall out of it.
Right.
So FY 13 is truck 5, I'll put truck 10 into FY 14 and slide the whole thing down.
There you go.
I got it, I'm with you.
Now let's move on.
Sure.
On these
'Cause I'm starving.
appreciation, like, some of them, they didn't,
Get out.
like, the number of years doesn't come
We're
up to
almost
one.
done, huh?
point.
We
I mean,
should.
depreciation should
We
be,
almost
is there any
done.
reason for that? Is it based on
I
a
hope
straight
It's
line?
a
or
very,
is
very
it-
good question, and I'm working with Powers and Sullivan and Sue
We want
Bailey
this
on
thing to go down here.
depreciation
We're just
and
approving
life,
this, right?
the
I'm not
useful
approving this
life.
yet. There's no-
Everything was
this.
5 years.
This is going to the team. I'm not approving
It
anything.
was-
It was,
budget,
it's
so
something
they
here
got
Draft budget. They
that,
can
load
take
was
it just
10, I
like it
thought,
is.
wasn't
yeah,
Not
10,
big.
but most everything was
Not
fully
approving
depreciated.
nothing.
The
No,
water
no
department is
numbers
pretty
are
much
final,
fully
nothing's.
depreciated as we
no.
speak right now.
All right.
Unfortunately, we're trying to
You've
bring
got
new
something to start
assets
with.
on.
We've
It's
given
very
them, we've given them a general basis
All right, Ken.
No,
Yep, okay.
of what we want.
There's no vote needed for this.
No.
We're just gonna send this budget down.
There's no definitive numbers in here,
these are real numbers, Scott.
you know?
I've been working
Oh,
on
I
this
know,
since
I know.
October.
This is a
You
draft.
We
guys,
need a vote.
you
This
guys
is a
need
draft.
to help
This is a
me.
draft. This is a
Do we need a vote
working
tonight or
draft.
You have to start somewhere.
Yeah, I
You have
mean,
to start
To
somewhere.
to
and
send,
that's what,
to
you know,
send a working draft. This isn't the final
Well, they need to
budget.
know that we
They
looked
have
at
to
it,
start
so
somewhere,
maybe
right?
we
This isn't
send
the
down,
final budget.
send down a draft budget, that's
Yeah,
all. We
send
voted on it.
you wanna make a motion and I'll send it down?
I'm just thinking that that's what's needed, isn't it?
Yeah, a draft budget. This
I
is
make
the-
a motion
this
that
is
we accept the draft budget. First of all, are we done talking about it? Are we done talking about it, Laura?
I wasn't, but you
Okay,
are.
then no. What was the next one?
No, I know, it's too
Right,
much
we get
tonight.
off on-
It's,
It is.
It's
It's-
too
We get
much.
off on trucks, we've been a half
Well,
hour.
we
on
want them
trucks.
to get the message that we looked at this, but so how much more do we need to go through this?
Yeah, you know, I mean, so you don't want, do you wanna meet again next week after I meet with the fiscal team?
Yes.
How's that?
well, we were
Yes.
supposed to have a
That sounds
meeting
good.
next month, next Tuesday.
How's that? And let's
Next
just
Tuesday
put
with the
this
selectmen,
on the
huh?
budget.
We supposed to meet with the selectmen next Tuesday?
I
No,
don't
that
know.
was with the private companies, but John's not back, do we wanna put that on hold?
I didn't do anything with that, Roy, because you told me you wanted to wait till John got back.
So where do we want to go with it?
When do you wanna meet?
Well, I think John should be here for that, don't you?
No, that's where that private, I don't care about private company right now. I want to meet and finish a budget,
We already set an appointment up for the private companies.
you know? Oh, you've already talked to him?
Oh, wait a minute, what's going on? Wait a minute, hold up. So let's make a motion and we'll talk about this next Tuesday after I meet with the fiscal team.
Yes.
Is that okay?
Yes.
So you're gonna accept the draft budget,
I would accept this draft budget it's work in progress,
Okay,
okay? I
So
mean,
we looked at
we did make
is
a
there any
couple
other-
changes
wait a minute.
as to the trucks, okay? We made a change that you're gonna do truck 5 and then start next year with truck 10 and work that
Yeah,
way.
I'll fix
We
that.
agreed on that?
okay.
Okay?
Is there anything in here that's really pertinent, or not pertinent, but important right now that we look at before it goes downtown? I mean, really, prioritize.
Because they're gonna bring this downtown and you guys are gonna work on this and come back to us with a different version.
Okay, so, Scott, you are the expert on running the water department, and no offense to the fiscal
Well,
team.
correct me if
but
I'm
they're
wrong,
not
but you're gonna bring
understand
this back
FCC
down.
licensing, they're not gonna
Okay.
understand the detail of what you need to run the water
You're
department.
gonna bring this, they're gonna take this down to town hall with the team and go over it, and you're gonna come back here to
Okay,
the board
well,
with a different version, am I
I don't
correct?
know, I
It
don't
might not be
know.
that much different, because
We'll
if
just
you,
go whatever we think.
if you
Yeah.
guys
So
think it's okay, then.
we'll give you something, this is
No.
what you'll start with, to get on there with.
This
And-
is
and
not the
We're not
fiscal,
that-
No,
they're
no,
not
I
the
know.
fiscal team.
But I'm
no.
saying, you'll be, it's I know they're not, I'm sorry.
They're the
not
finance committee, you're not able to see
But
this.
they're gonna start with this, and it's a work in progress, it's a draft.
Yeah, but they're gonna wanna know if that's doable. They
This
wanna-
is
they're
gonna
wanna
come
know-
back to us.
Yeah, but they're gonna wanna know if this is pie in the sky, or if you guys
I think
think that you
Laura's
could
just
live,
looking for
you
some
know.
guidance.
Some
Is
guidance,
this-
yes,
Is this what the
yes.
water
But bring this,
commissioners
give
want
this
done?
to them,
Yeah.
okay?
Well, I noticed here, just one point here, we were talking about maybe throwing some money at a budget item called contract work, if we have to bring in a contractor.
So I
for the
threw
treatment.
$1 at it,
So
that was my best guess, $1.
so where's that?
That's on page 1, line 6, private treatment plant, $1, because I don't know.
Form 1,
That's gonna be a huge number.
page 1 or Form 1?
Form 1, line 6, private treatment, $1.
Okay, so that's not, we
That's
gotta,
my best guess.
all right, so
You're looking at $500,000,
Yeah.
you got 4 months, right? We got 4 months to operate this plant?
And I have $68,120 or $17,000 a
That's,
month.
yeah, that's for our costs to run it, yeah.
That's for Jay and the crew running it.
How much was it?
68, 120
What's it gonna put up, number?
for 4 months.
So, but you're already operating it on the department anyway, so why are we, is that putting in somebody to hire?
Now,
No,
let's
this is,
let's take a step back here. I can hear that we're kind of tired tonight and there's a lot to think about. You reviewed the budget that I presented last week.
Yeah.
You don't have any real questions or concerns. I will present it to the fiscal team tomorrow and find out what more they need from me and the board for the following Tuesday. And we really need to set an
With
hour
the change,
aside.
yes, just for this.
I need direction from you. I don't want you to feel
But
that
the
I'm
thing is
telling
this,
you.
Laura, with just the changes that we made tonight as to the trucks.
That's easy.
Okay, that's an
That's an easy one.
Okay, so
That
yes,
doesn't affect the money.
because I've sat down, I know myself, I don't know about Tim and Roy, but I sat down, but I've been looking at this for 2 days,
So do you have comments?
okay? It looks fine as a
Okay.
start,
Okay.
to me.
Well, I think we need to
Okay.
cover, I didn't even
It
put
looks
a number
fine
in
as a
there.
start
I
for a
think we need
rough
to-
draft
Well, I-
to give to town hall.
Well, I
and
don't
the
want to
team.
send something down there with a dollar on it. So what's the difference between line 5 and line 6?
So the private company is the people that we're gonna bring in here to decide if they're going to run the treatment plant and clean out the tanks and run the lab and do whatever we're supposed to do. We're looking at maybe up to $500,000 or more. I don't know. Or is it 100,000? I don't know, Tim.
So we don't
I don't
really have a
know.
number that we can.
Until they come in
So
and give us an
put it down,
idea,
right.
I think
we have no
I
idea.
She's
put it
saying
down already,
at this
you know?
point-
I don't
At this
know.
point-
we're ready to roll for $68,000, you know what I mean? to take care of those 4 months of the budget.
So
You
in
know,
other words, if somebody comes in here to give us some pricing for a treatment plant operator, it would be something.
which you already have.
Would be less than 68,000. We're covered with our own people with
Right.
68,000.
We're ready to roll, we're ready to open the
Yeah,
door.
but I mean, this is not counting the vehicles, not counting everything else, correct?
What vehicles?
Yeah, the trucks.
You said you
yeah.
needed a vehicle up there.
So that's truck
Yeah, that's
five,
one that's already in our fleet, yeah.
but the 68,000 is on form.
Or is that just labor, 68?
That's form
That's
5. That's form 5. I should put numbers on this. So if you look under the treatment plan, that doesn't include salaries, it doesn't include the trucks.
That's for operation.
We really need to take time next week after I meet with the fiscal team and
I agree.
honestly
Do we
come
need-
back.
I agree.
And just don't talk about anything else
No,
but this
and
budget.
do budget. That's it.
Well, the question I have is, do we need extra staff to run the treatment plant from February to July
No.
next year? We
What
don't
we
need extra
don't
staff?
know, Jay, is split shifts. We don't know
Well,
if
we were already gonna
be-
work up.
we're gonna have to work in some overtime.
So we don't need to
Yeah,
go out
there's
and
a
hire
little
another
additional overtime.
Yeah.
staff person?
So that's not in the 68 though.
No, this was purely operational, like chemical stuff like that.
So what do we have for a number figuring all the help
Well,
that I've been?
Well, that's, wasn't required.
So
in our draft
so
budget,
we were told by town hall to level fund the salaries. So that's what I did. I think that our crew can run the water treatment plant with maybe a couple more hours of overtime. I don't know that.
The thing is, I mean, I
It's
don't wanna
a-
go keep going into this more, I mean, we don't have time tonight, you know? We're not running 24/7 at this plant and stuff, so it's, you know,
It's a shift. It's one shift.
it's a day shift, it's,
Yeah.
you know, what,
And if something screws up, there's the SCADA system to get somebody else on board to bring it down there and make an
it's gonna
adjustment.
be 2 of us qualified
And if
there
there's
every day.
the tank down there on top of that
So we
hill,
need 2 guys
it's
there.
running low.
You need, no,
and
you
you
need
gotta
one guy there,
Put on an extra
and
shift
if
to
you're
run,
doing
fill
loading
up
chemicals
the
or
tank.
anything, you'll have
That's
2
what we
guys
need the
there.
person for, right?
Which isn't all day, you know? So,
Did you
So
go to
if you
the,
get 2 down there, do we have to hire more for back here? Is what I'm asking.
you know, as of right now, no, but I mean, I think we should explore that option. You know, maybe someone that has, you know, construction experience, someone else for the distribution crew, possibly. It's, you know, I'm not gonna say no, but as of right now, I think we're okay. You know? It's gonna take us, it's gonna take a little getting used to for us to start running this plant and
did
see
you go
what
to
they.
Gardner and see
No.
the plant out there? Did you go out
No,
to
I
Gardner?
haven't.
Did you talk to Mark out there? Did you go to Gardner when we did the walkabout out there, Kim?
Well, I'm thinking we ought to just maybe throw a number in here other than 1. That's the big problem here, going downtown
Well,
tomorrow.
that's with the
With the one in
private,
there.
no, that's with the private company. That has nothing to do with our crew. That's
you went to Gardner.
if you went to choose that.
How many guys ran that plant? 1.
Okay, so I
The
have.
point is our guys are all licensed, you know, I ran a grade 3 plant before I came here. You
No,
know what I mean?
I get nothing against our guys doing it.
Yeah,
I wanna bring these guys in
okay,
and talk to them.
yeah. I
And
think what Laura's saying was, we probably need to put
get an
a,
idea what they
you know,
do it for.
The
And that's
number
what
you
you
put
need.
in there is gonna scare you.
yeah, but
Oh, yeah.
No, I mean, I don't wanna scare anybody. That's
No,
why I
the
don't
real
wanna
number you put
overreact
in there
on
for
this
hiring a
budget.
contract and a firm out to do
I
this,
don't wanna
I
overreact.
don't know what I.
it's gonna
Yeah, I don't know
it's
what
gonna
we're
be
doing.
scary.
I mean, right now,
It
we're
will.
looking at this private entity coming in.
Yeah, so
to help
by
us.
the end of February,
Yeah.
you're gonna have a good handle.
I
We'll
think we
go
ought to put
back
a number in there, just
Do you wanna put
as a
100,000? I mean, I don't know. What's the number, Tim?
I put in 30 grand. What do you-
That's not enough.
I don't think we should put anything in until we talk to them.
That's not
I
enough.
agree.
So we gotta, it's a big question mark there. One is gonna flag them down there, so we're gonna have to tell them, we're waiting for somebody to come in. So when they come in, when are they coming in?
They were supposed to come next Tuesday.
But we're waiting for John to get back. So
Well, I think,
They can come in and give and answer our questions
Well,
and
can they
give us
come in-
some sort of
What
number.
day they coming in now?
Tuesday.
They're coming in Tuesday.
They're in the business.
I didn't, Tim, Roy, are they set up? I haven't contacted anyone.
I have.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're coming in Tuesday.
So then we will not do the budget next Tuesday, we'll just do the private company, and then meet again to do the budget.
That makes
Up
sense.
to you.
That's what we have to do.
And then when you
That's
go
what we
down
have to
for
do.
your initial budget meeting tomorrow, just say we're looking at these other avenues.
Okay, so the private companies, you gotta set up for next Tuesday.
5 o'clock is the first one, then 5:30, and 6.
Okay, if I can just get their names so I can put them on the agenda, and so that the public will know who's coming in at what
The
time.
first one, I believe, is on the CM2. The second one is United Water, and the third one is Viola.
At 6 o'clock?
Mm.
Okay.
So did we give them times, like, stagger the times?
Yeah, half hour.
Next Tuesday.
Unless you want all three of them in here at the same time, I think we did. You know? No, I figured 5:30, 5:30.
No, that's good.
All right? Okay, I know this is a little overwhelming, I know. But I'm just looking for direction.
Anything else that might be very important for tomorrow? The budget, when they give them the budget?
I don't know what the fiscal team knows about running a water department, so I'll find that out tomorrow.
Do you have anybody going with you?
No, I can handle it.
Okay.
I can handle it. I just, spend a lot of time on this, and, it would be good if I could hone in a little bit on what everybody's needs are
I
here.
think she did a very good job.
I think she did too.
For
I
what she
think I
had put
was
together.
Thank you.
I think she
absolutely,
did a
because
very
I
good
was,
job.
Laura, I was home going over this, looking at it.
Well, Jay did a lot.
Okay.
She's
Jay
not-
did a lot.
And
Okay.
the only thing that I knew
No,
was
honestly,
that
that's good.
would probably be questions from is the capital program in capital improvements.
I think
And-
you're not
and
against
that.
capital,
I'm
is
not.
what
I'm
I'm
not.
hearing. It's just
No.
a matter of shifting things
It's
around.
just a-
I
It's
hear
just a
you.
matter of
Exactly.
one at a time, not two.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
that's
We
a lot
just
of
happen
money.
to have extra money this year.
That's the only thing that I could see in through and with my fellow board
Okay.
members.
I hear you.
Looking through it, the only thing that any one of us had issue with was the capital expenditures of the capital cost program, when to start it, and especially with the trucks,
Well, I think I have
So
more
I
confidence in the numbers.
Yeah, they, I just had jotted a couple things down, and you answered my questions when, from some numbers that I,
Just to,
wrote down as to the increases in the maintenance, and there's gonna be increases because the plant's coming online,
Right.
that's all.
just one quick question about, so we know we're kind of dealing with like a $45,000 in the red type thing with this project out back here. How is that going to be handled in this?
Okay, so I have to talk with Debbie Egan about this, and, I don't want to get into a lot of details tonight.
Does that number have to go in here?
Yeah, it has to go in the special town meeting, not
Okay.
in this budget. It's going to be an article at special town meeting with Sue Bailey and the water commissioners and the selectmen have to agree, what are the bills that we overspent or not overspent the garage. I don't know what that number is, to be honest with you.
Okay.
A lot of numbers are being thrown around, but I'm not sure I have
No,
a
that
good
can't come out of
hand.
free cash.
It has to.
Well, it
It
has
has
to,
to.
yes, what
And
it have to be
I've
done,
already
I'm
set that
sure.
money aside in my little, cash flow state. I put aside for the special town meeting to correct the refunding of the debt. We have to do that no matter what. We want a gate valve exerciser. We might want 2 trucks, Roy, we might not. We might want to fix the garage, I don't know. And we want to finish the storage. And at the end of that, we still have extra free cash.
The thing is, we
that
don't
we're
have a
going
number.
But the thing is,
So, I mean, we have no idea.
Well, I kind of have it's not going to be 300, we're not even talking $300,000 here, okay? We're not.
You have like a preliminary
For
guesstimate
Yeah.
on free cash we're gonna have in May this year.
I'm
Just
not
a
allowed to
guesstimate.
disclose that number.
Okay.
Sue Bailey's working on it, I think in the next
So we're still
week.
working on a number.
I
Yeah.
kinda have an idea what it is.
I think I'd feel more comfortable if you went
Right.
2 trucks, if I knew what the number was.
Exactly, Roy,
And,
I
and
get
right
it.
now, I mean, I don't know how much money we've got there and how much we can use.
So when we look at rates, and this is something the fiscal team has to get an understanding on, you know, we don't just set rates, you know, rates are complicated. Rates are based on water usage. Rates are set on discounts, on the way people pay us. Rates are
Rates are
including
set on your
capital,
debt.
not,
On
It's-
all your expenses,
It's
your
a huge
expenses, your
formula.
maintenance, your debt, your everything.
it's a
That's-
huge formula, and I understand it. It's not like setting the tax rate and everybody's across the board getting the same rate. It's not happening. So we want to protect the ratepayers. We don't want to increase the ratepayers, but we're taking on $500,000 in debt. I mean, we have no choice. We got to raise rates to cover that
For clean water.
for clean water. So we're going to be talking a lot about this in the next month until everybody completely feels comfortable, especially in this room, because you've got to present this at town meeting.
Well,
This is
I tell
the
you,
group that has to stand up there
It's
and
like-
tell town meeting what's going on. It's not the fiscal team or, you know, downtown. We have to feel comfortable. And, you know, I'm not sure we're there yet. I'm not sure we're there.
Okay.
so the next meeting was next Tuesday.
And we're gonna just do the private companies next Tuesday. I don't wanna get into the budget next week.
So when do you want
It's
to,
too much.
do a
Then the
meeting for
following-
just the budget?
So the 19th, we have, well, we might have Raleigh Country Club come in next week. Or maybe we can get Raleigh.
No, I don't think we'll be ready.
Okay, on the 19th, we have PRS coming in, which we need to talk to, because that's included in the budget, and we have Raleigh Country Club, and then we can get into the budget. That's what's on for the 19th right now. Next week, we'll just get our hands around the private companies, so we can talk
Right.
about that. All right, is that, everybody
You-
agree on that, or?
I agree on that.
I agree.
I agree on that. So, I mean, like I said, Laura, this is a draft, a working
I
draft
know.
budget. Okay? You did a damn good job on it.
Thank you.
Okay? You guys, you and Jay and everyone on this, without the help of, with our superintendent being gone.
Oh, thank you, Laura.
You're welcome.
And you're stepping in you're not only doing your job, you're doing the superintendent's job, and I have to commend you. Because I don't, it's difficult.
All right, so we'll meet again next Tuesday at
Okay.
5, and I'll throw the budget on just in case we feel that we want to talk
Yeah, if we
about
have,
it.
if we have some, if the guys, if they're gone and we have some time and we want to jump back on this budget, we can.
Okay.
So when are they gonna look at the budget and then get back to us?
So tomorrow's meeting, I'm doing procurement tomorrow morning with Debbie Egan, and
Yeah.
we're looking at the treatment
We
plant
said-
first.
We said that.
Yeah.
And then that's a half an hour meeting, and then we're gonna go right into the fiscal team meeting with the, with, you know, Sue Bailey
Yep.
and Karen Summit and Sean, Debbie Egan, Amy, and
Yep.
me, not the finance committee.
Well, I apologize.
Okay, so,
I just,
so we really wanna
Just-
get a budget that we feel,
because down the road, evidently, you know, it's gonna, where the FinCom is gonna be reviewing this whole thing. You're
Well,
gonna sit and
the
have
selectmen haven't
FinCom
looked
review it.
yet. The
And they
select-
gotta, you
So I
know,
wanna get something.
Which is
to
why
this-
we're here. So that
exactly,
we can
exactly.
understand.
So you can understand it too. And everybody understands what it's, absolutely. It's, and,
And you know where my office is, if anybody wants to do it, you know, just informally, I'd be happy to spend time with you to go through it. You know, honestly, it's important. though.
Make a motion?
Make a motion.
I'll second it.
Wait,
All in
wait,
favor?
wait.
Aye.
Oh, wait, oh,
Done.
we had one more
I
thing.
had
All right,
the old business, I had a phone call, I didn't know how to proceed.
can we open it up for 1 minute? Oh, no.
Sorry, I
Okay,
just
Open
needed,
it up, I guess.
sorry, guys.
unless you wanna just tell me.
What?
Mr. Haley on Old Raleigh Road called me again and wanted to know how the board wanted to, so you can table it for another meeting, but
Table it for
I need
another
to
meeting.
call him and tell him that.
Can I
Table
bring
it.
him in next week, make an appointment for him
Yep.
to come in?
Okay.
Maybe
That's
that's
good
the
idea.
best way.
Good idea.
Alright,
I'll come in.
that's all I need to know.
All